Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We start this morning with final Q3 GDP data for the U.S. Scheduled to appear at 8:30. Has not popped up yet, though. But you can see Q3 final GDP number here expected any moment now. We'll bring that to you as it happens. Heading towards the open this morning, we're looking at relatively unchanged markets. Futures are in positive territory, but ever so slightly. So we'll talk about some positivity surrounding stimulus. Congress getting that stimulus bill passed after market last night, and we'll now move to President Trump's desk before it becomes law. We also have the World Health Organization adding some positivity this morning, as they have said both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines should be effective when it comes to the second strain, or this mutated strain of the COVID virus coming out of the UK. Peloton shares on the move this morning. Apple shares on the move this morning. Big announcement late in the day yesterday on EV car maker news. Still no number here for Q3 GDP. I'll grab that when it comes, guys. It is Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see pretty negative right across the board here. Once again, both Japan, Australia, and looks like Chinese markets all in negative territory there. India, the only one bucking the trend, moving to the upside, the nifty there. We'll move over to Europe next and have a look at positive numbers here, 1+% for the most part. Top to bottom, so nice look for the European landscape. Let's shift over one more time and have a look at North America, and nicely positive as well for the most part. The NASDAQ leading the way in the U.S., the Dow just barely in positive territory. We also have, looks like Brazil open, trading higher, crude oil to the downside. Bitcoin, little change so far this morning. And also gold back in negative territory. This number did come out here, guys. 33.4% versus 33.1% reading for Q3 GDP in the U.S. So a little bit higher than expected there for that final reading for Q3. Good morning. It is Tuesday, guys. Holiday shortened week. Where do we start? I mean, there's so much to talk about this morning. There's Peloton, there's Apple, there's these LiDAR companies going crazy because of Apple. Where do you want to start, guys?
Yeah, oh, look, man, those LiDAR companies were already going crazy. Now we just double down on them. Tesla was actually just flat, but coming back in off of Apple's somewhat new news. I guess it's an update. It's been years in the making. They've been down the line when it comes to possibly autonomous vehicles and EV as well. So the final details, we'll see what happens. I mean, I've heard a lot of speculation. You read a lot of speculation, certainly, that they're going to need a manufacturing partner. They've never made cars before. It's a different margin business, yada, 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 yada. It's Apple. If anyone's going to pull it off, it's probably going to be them. This Laser and Velodyne, both incredibly strong names before this. I mean, you get the Apple bump on top of it as well, and it's absolutely crazy. The only thing going more nuts is Fubo, of course, with possible expanded sports licensing deals. So they're up another 17%. So if you thought that this holiday shortened week was not going to be active, yeah, you would be absolutely dead wrong about that. It's shaping up to be another interesting day. And there's even some high-flying names that are going a little bit crazy on the small cap space that are worth a watch here, Sean.
Yeah, you know, it's a good morning, especially for me, and good morning to everybody else. If you check out my Twitter, we were tweeting away, and we recommended Peloton at 117. We put that into our account. It's 165. Apple, the best stock. I'm not ever selling those shares. You guys saw Palantir yesterday, $26. Yesterday, I made a comment and said that, maybe we'll be at 30 by Christmas. We're at 30 today, so that didn't take too long. Palantir, ready to rock and roll. Oh, yeah, and then on our watch list as well, you all know another name that we talked about Fully Transamine Acquisition Corp today breaking through $15 as well. So BFT, another one. Oh, wow, good job here. We're long sub 13. You guys know that. So a couple decent picks here. AI as well, moving to the high side. So if you've been following any of the trades that we've been putting on sort of as a group here for swing trading, BFT, Palantir, DraftKings, and then Peloton, what a sweet deal they got there with Precor. So yeah, we'll be talking about all of these, and it's been a great morning for me. It's great when you wake up and you see all that green, Brendan.
Yeah, there's lots to get through this morning, lots of green indeed. There's another SPAC on the watch list this morning, Colonnade Acquisition Corporation. The only reason I mention this now is because Ouster is the company they're taking public through a merger, and that is another LiDAR company. So in that same group as Velodyne, Laser, Microvision, there's a whole bunch of them now. So we'll talk about Colonnade Acquisition Corporation coming up in a couple of moments as well. Before we do, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning, Brandon, and hey guys, happy trading day, everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and smash thumbs up. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We'll have a look at the top 10 traders to start things off from Day Trade the World yesterday. More big numbers coming out of Day Trade the World yesterday. Top 10 traders, here we go. Number one, 87,000. Whole wide range of markets as we've seen over the past week or so in that number one slot. Some Canadian content there, US, even OTC. Pink sheets there as well. LSE, Vienna, and Zitra there over in Europe at number two, 33,000. Brazil making an appearance here, number three, 27,000. Lots of people on the OTC markets yesterday, 4 and 5, both coming out of OTC. We have more European action. So nice numbers once again right across the top 10 board there for Day Trade the World. Great successful day for traders here at Day Trade the World. Let's jump right into things here, guys. We have all kinds of things to talk about. I want to start things off with this Ouster news just coming out right before we came on there. Ouster, another LiDAR company. So, I mean, timing is everything when it comes to today's action. So this deal is valued at $1.9 billion. So Colonnade Acquisition Corporation, CLA, it was up big time last time I had a look at it here in the pre-market.
43% and running is that number. And on 3 million worth of volume. We'll try not to make our ever-mature production crew crack up over Colonnade, the name, but either way, definitely shareholders are happy with this. You said timing is everything, Brendan, and hype matters. I feel like you throw into the fact that it's a holiday shortened week, so a little bit less liquidity. So you do have maybe some, I don't want to say exaggerated moves, but probably a little bit more extension going on in the pre-market than you would normally see. And I was watching both Laser, I was watching this JG, which we'll get to a little bit later. Just the pullbacks on some of these names, when they look to roll over, there just isn't a heck of a lot of selling, and there clearly is a lot of buy action going through here. There's not going to be any levels to watch when it comes to this play. The one thing I would caution if you're trading in this sector, I guess we can call it now, just make sure you're having a quick look over what's going on with Laser and Velodyne as well. Now, I know we're still running. This is a new offering here. Well, this is a new name going public, but there's a decent chance that if you saw a sharp enough pullback in Laser, as I look at Laser basically on its high and not pushing. If I saw a real big pullback, maybe through 37, I'd watch out to see if we did get the same sort of thing happening in CLA. It's not to say they're going to follow each other. Certainly that's not going to be 100% true, but I'd be very wary. If there is a pullback day today in Laser and Velodyne, I wouldn't want to be caught buying the top of CLA in that same moment, Sean.
Yeah, no, I was looking at VLDR. I just tweeted out a couple different levels there. But VLDR right now, the high is 28.40, and yeah, I mean, I just think we can break through this. We saw what Apple came out with and said yesterday about getting into cars and having to team up with people, and I mean, lasers is all about what we're talking about right now. And yeah, it's just going to be it's a fun spot. I mean, we can call up a lot of these different charts. I mean, $13, $14 just back in November, like mid-November. Now a double coming through, and I mean the momentum is here in this space. And again, I'm just going to talk about it one more time for anybody that's not here. Valeria, if you could please put the link. We do have our morning list here, and we're just talking about a few new names, but here we go, guys. Apple news, we talked about that. VLDR's here. Fubo's here, Palantir, everything, Peloton, Apple. Make sure you sign up for this. tradertv.live's morning mover watch list coming free. And look, guys, 8:05 again. So hopefully we're trying to get things sorted out. We're working with a major mail provider. So hopefully you'll be able to get those, but definitely sign up for that. As we run, Brendan, more and more names on the list here, and it's going to be a good day, I have a feeling. I
want to go over to cryptocurrency land real quick, guys. We had a big move to the downside in Ripple yesterday. We saw there on the board Bitcoin. I was just double checking, actually, not really doing a heck of a lot this morning. It's still kind of hanging out around 24,000, but XRP down about 13% yesterday on this headline here. You can see possible SEC lawsuit coming through as far as people trying to pay for things. And then what do they do with the tax implication from paying for things, especially on big ticket items? So they're talking, you know, the kind of 5,000 plus or 3,500 to 5,000 was one category that was mentioned, and then 5,000 plus. Does this affect the overall cryptocurrency market at all, or is this just a one-off here?
Overall, I would say, yeah. I mean, of course, it's probably going to, but there is a sense of picking winners and losers that's going to happen here. And if that's going to be the way that this approach goes down, then I feel like overall Bitcoin is probably still going to be your safe place. I've sort of gone from viewing, I'm not going to say true believer, but I've sort of gone to more viewing crypto space and Bitcoin in particular as the new money printing play. You know, essentially you look at what's been going on with the money supply and you just say to yourself, the relationship with gold is not what it used to be. You know, people are going to look for that safe store of value where there's some trust, and for whatever reasons you want, it seems like it's right now it's Bitcoin. You also have an accelerated move through that 20,000 mark. I do feel like this story, in some ways, when you see regulation come in, if you're the most established name and you're not targeted, it's usually a good thing for the big boys, and then down the line, it's probably going to hurt some of the smaller coins. That's just my take on it. I still think Bitcoin pulls back to 20 at some point, and then that's going to be your place to get in. As far as Ethereum goes, haven't been on that train in a little bit of a while, but definitely I think it probably doesn't have a huge impact on Bitcoin, except for maybe a short-term pullback, which is likely to happen anyways.
Yeah, actually, when Brendan said that, I was actually checking my Ripple position for real. So I was just checking that out, and actually didn't slide down too much. I'm actually pretty good in the money on XRP. Look, Ripple, I mean that's what they're doing. They're solving problems. They're allowing people to transfer money very smoothly. There's like a 17 million. I mean, and that's why the SEC wants it, is because there's tax evasion, right? And I mean, everyone wants their money. People are paying for things and big ticket items with crypto, and that's the point of it. That's Ripple solving that problem. So we'll see what happens. But to me, look, man, just keep drawing more attention to the crypto world. My Monero, why don't you do something with Monero? I mean, Monero is completely ambiguous, and you don't know who's sending it, and that could be something looked at as well. But I'm a holder of Monero, Ripple, Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I've got them all, not all of them, too many of them probably, but I'm excited for the crypto space for 2021. Let's
talk about some cannabis names here this morning. Big merger news last week in the cannabis group involving Afria. Today we learned that Greenleaf Medical picking up Columbia Care, or vice versa, I should say. Columbia Care buying Greenleaf Medical for $240 million in cash. We talked a little bit, guys, last week about how M&A activity in this group could accelerate, the bigger ones buying up the smaller ones. We're seeing, you know, the merger of two smaller ones this morning, but this is something that could continue as we head into 2021.
Yeah, we had a couple of weed. I was looking for the weed Batman thing here. Look, I mean, it's, I don't even know, what was the note there? It was a small one, right?
Yeah, it's just green.
Yeah, Greenleaf and Columbia Care. We still have Afria and Tilray. Remember that deal went through last week, and then all I was saying that it was just more reason to short these two names, and then you can see what's happened here. 925 down to 850. We topped 820 down to 825 there as well. I kind of feel the same thing's going to happen here again. I mean, the deal happens. We spike up to 13, 14, 15, come right back down up to 10, 1040. We don't actually even get past here on Tilray. I'm not looking at any sort of deal in the crypto space as being anything worthwhile. I'll get those symbols for you. I was a little caught off guard. I'm sure Neil has.
Yeah, Columbia Care is over on the pink sheet, so I mean, you're probably not going to be trading it anyways. But if you are having a look, likely to make a bit of a move. I think already at resistance. And like you said with Tilray, Sean, the first day was such I don't want to say an obvious sell, but once it started to get going, it wasn't the hardest trade in the world. It actually happened before the market opened. So I don't think this is going to be gigantic. Obviously, if you are trading this and you are looking at Colombia over here in the OTC markets, just remember, good source of liquidity on OTCX, but it's different from trading equities, guys. If you are looking at this, no guaranteed fills in those market makers, not as many ECNs like you might be used to. So just be careful. This is not exactly the most liquid name either. But today it might actually do a little bit of volume, I would anticipate.
We'll get into the actual chart of Tesla coming up here in a few minutes, guys. But just as a general thought, first day on the S&P yesterday, down 4%. Accelerated into the close even. The selling accelerated into the close after the Apple news came out regarding the possibility of the iCar becoming a thing, autonomous and EV. I mean, general thoughts here, as I mentioned, we'll jump into the chart a little bit later on, but general thoughts on Tesla's first day as a part of the S&P.
Good. I mean, look, we had the hit yesterday. Well, it was a good trade yesterday for us when we were trying to go short through the 655 area, and it does happen. We were shorting up here 670. That was a good trade. You guys know that we had this short, and it was nice that it finally paid off near the end of the day. We were short 655, and I actually said the bottom I was looking at 642. It actually looks like the bottom was 646. So I think we can look at that bottom again today. But I mean, here's all those crazy prints that we talked about with the big volume on Friday, down 10%, then straight back up 10%, and printing to the highs. Obviously, I don't think we're going to see that for any time soon, but 700, we still have that peg there. That's going to be all-time highs. We're already at all-time highs on Friday, and then yesterday we just trade kind of like a normal day. I mean, it wasn't a super strong day. The NASDAQ was down 0.1. The S&P was down as well, so it's really no surprise. We can't take Tesla's closing print as being 695. That was just obviously, we know about the rebalance. So I would say Tesla's, more tried to be around 670 or so, and then that's basically where we opened up, and then we fell down and closed 640. So I'm looking at a short through this level, 645 today. However, the market's pretty strong. And if you are looking at anything, you got to look for the 665 top, 670 as well. But you know what? Now that a lot of the air is kind of out of the tires, I don't really think, I think NIO's a better trade. I think this JG is probably going to be a better trade. And if you're looking at electric vehicles, Tesla is just a monster in so many other things that I would almost wait for more news. There is more news coming on this. I talked to Randy about this the last couple of days. He's excited for it, and so am I. I did get out of 15% on that crazy day at 669. I'm actually waiting to see if we can get a little bit lower. I almost think this 635 area where we stopped on Friday is not a horrible spot to reload some of those shares back in the account and see if I can't swing for a little 5% win.
Yeah, I thought yesterday was a short on Tesla. Obviously tried and, didn't have the success. Probably should have been getting in either earlier or waiting patiently a little bit later on in the session, but that doesn't change here. In the Apple news, look, you had the hangover from the addition to the S&P 500. You throw in that you're going to have quite possibly the competitor that no one wants to hear is entering your space. If there is any kind of brand loyalty that rivals, forget about rivals, that meets and surpasses Tesla's, it's going to be Apple. So there was likely to be some selling and profit taking going into this week. I just think that could get electrified through that 650 mark today. So the mistake I made yesterday was an unwillingness to get into it sort of right off the open off of a level. I still like 670 from yesterday, the one I never got a shot at. So I'll be trying either one of those two on Tesla, and hopefully with a little bit better luck. Look, you can have the right direction all you want, but I shorted Tesla a couple of times and lost. So let's see if we can rectify that issue today. Certainly the market is strong, as Sean mentioned, but Tesla's dead flat. there are a few names which are surprisingly flat. Tesla, I don't think it's a huge surprise.
Pretty impressive recovery for the markets yesterday, going from a 500-point decline for the Dow when I sat down in the pre-market to ending the day positive. The market as a whole shrug off this second mutated version of COVID virus coming out of the UK. Part of that, guys, came from the World Health Organization, which came out about halfway through the day yesterday and said that both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines that was their language, should be effective still with when it comes to a second strain or a mutated strain. Now, we talked about the ability for Moderna to alter their vaccine quickly as its construction was a little bit more technical, but the World Health Organization kind of putting out this fire a little bit. Just had a look at all of the airlines and all of the cruise lines, all in positive territory once again today, guys.
Yeah, yeah, just looking.
Barely.
There's a lot of people asking about the Palantir lockup. We'll see if we can find out when that is. I don't think that's, I mean, it's normally 90 days, 180 days, and it came to market in September, so it could be pretty close. Okay, look, I mean, we saw yesterday a lot of the rhetoric was way too early on this. You had scientists that had no idea what science was come out and say, you know, about this strain and how it's a mutation and it's going to be hard to control and it's much worse than the first one. Look, I mean, I don't know if any of that is true or not. Obviously, I was watching the news last night and some people believe it could be a worse strain. Some people could be less contagious. I don't know, but it seems like the market knows and it doesn't care about anything like that. As you can see, it's up. So Pfizer, yeah, good news for them. Obviously, good news for Moderna as well, that their vaccine is still going to be legit, apparently. So that's great news. And you know what? Even if it isn't for it, you know, the current vaccines out there, they're shipping them. There's millions and millions of doses now out and available, hopefully to the public more sooner rather than later. I know there's been some logistical problems. But look, I've been selling Pfizer since $42 in talking about it. We did have that $42 break. I talked about how we up here, and then we got out for, I think, a quarter or 50 cents, something like that. We tweeted that one out. But then since that day, man, it's just been straight down like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 or 11 straight days. And this is where I said that we could start getting interested in Pfizer again. This $36, $37 level right here, you could pick it up. Forget about the dividend plays. I mean, you know, Pfizer's been pretty strong. If you zoom back out for all time, you know, I mean, this is not going to go all time, but even back a year, year and a half, look, if you're in this name, you're not in it for like capital gains. There's not much return coming here. It's a very, very, you know, easy come, easy go kind of stock. Even with the vaccine coming into play here, you're not seeing it move too much. So look, I'm not a huge fan of Pfizer right now. The only thing is you do have this $38 level, which is the 50-period moving average. I think we could crack that and then start to go long. And then if you break 38, which is right here, right? Like you bring it all the way back down, you can get to the high side, which is 39.50. So I don't mind it picking it up right now, but look, for a day trade, I mean, it doesn't get super exciting for me for that. Although in the morning there is a little bit of movement. Let's just buy it off 37 if it gets down there. That's my only thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of always like Pfizer in that range. Just I had this conversation, just going back to Palantir, Sean. I had this conversation with Greg, our floor manager here, a couple of weeks ago. And when I was reading, it was like the third trading day after the earnings. So whenever that works out to be, I actually don't know what that when that date is going to be. But Brennan's here saying it's the end of the year, the 31st. For a day trade, and maybe not Pfizer is going to be the day trade. Maybe CCL is going to be that trade. Obviously, I tried shorting into this one yesterday. 2 mixed success. The second short was good. The first, not so much. But today, look at this tight consolidation at those highs off this 21 level. This just sort of screams that you can probably get a break in either direction. There used to be a trade that we would put on before we were even on YouTube, actually, when we were doing this internally for Day Trade the World. And it would be, if you get that tight consolidation, you're willing to take the breakout, 2130 long side. I would tend to prefer 2095 as opposed to 21 even, just looking at the afternoon bottom on CCL. So call like a 35 penny range. You know, your trigger in, your stop for the other side sort of becomes, your trigger in for the other side becomes your stop for the trade. You just got to watch to get wicked out. Maybe if you want to have a larger stop, only get out of half of it and try to hold more for a bigger move. But I like those two levels, 95 downside, 2130 to the upside. I do still tend to lean to the south side of the trade because there wasn't much of a sell-off yesterday. And we're overall flat. The airline's up a little more than Carnival right now. So it does feel like it's at least a little bit of relative weakness. So I tend to at least a bit favor that short trade, but I still wouldn't give it more than 40 pennies initially.
Yeah, guys, I do see a couple of different sources suggesting it's December 31st. So I'll see if I can't confirm that a little bit more. But Palantir, as far as the lockup, Looks like December 31st, but I'll keep checking. Let's jump into the watch list, guys. We send it out every single morning to your inbox before we come on at 8:30. It's absolutely free to you. If you have not done so already, make sure you sign up for the Morning Movers watch list. We talk about everything that's moving around in the pre-market and a little bit about why it's moving around in the pre-market. Let's jump into Peloton. First off, they announced deals snapping up Precor, which is a fitness equipment manufacturer in North America, to boost their North American presence and their ability to produce their equipment faster and more efficient in North America. So 9% here for Peloton.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the Superman. I've been, on this one, pounding the table for you guys on Peloton. We put in our account 117. I just checked earlier this morning. It was 117 and change. It was on this break, and we are super, super happy. I guess it was 117.50, whatever it was, right near this 50 period moving average. I can check the exact price after, but either way, even if we call it a 120 break there. Look, when Apple came out and talked about it, Amazon talked about the space as well. To me, that just means I need to buy more Peloton because, again, first movers, the product apparently never, I don't know. I mean, I know people that are on them, but it's just been a fantastic product here, a fantastic run up. And there's another name too, Nautilus, NLS. I was just thinking about that because Bowflex there is pretty popular. NLS. Oh, why didn't we have the level 2 here for NLS?
We got it. It's on New York.
Yeah, it's on New York. I know. I just called it NQ and it switched on my chart. Yeah, NLS is another name here. This is the Bowflex name, and this one's also been running upside. This is the daily chart. From $2, $4, $6, like back in August, $11 up to $27 now coming back in. Look, I like all these names. We're going to talk about Peloton though quickly here before we go. Peloton's, look. 160, we're already at day high. Like, come on, charts. We're already at the all-time highs here. We've broken out past 130. I mean, I don't really have too many levels. This morning, we've been looking at Peloton. 141, no, that's the other day. 158, I guess, is sort of where we had some development down here. I think we could get sold off. I mean, this is 11% up. What does it do for Peloton? Maybe it gets them into new equipment. It gives them that production, I guess. Gives them a little bit of a name brand recognition with Precor. But, I mean, I just think this seems to be pretty heated. It's way up. It was already an expensive stock. I like it because it's a stay-at-home COVID play. We've seen Roku, Netflix, a lot of these names. Obviously, we're now locked down the whole province of Ontario starting on the 26th of December. I know it's very similar for a lot of the states as well, and I think a lot more countries to follow. So, I mean, Peloton is just one of those names that just keeps on going, man. I mean, all we can really do on this one, and I was going to say we could just spin the money, but we don't really have anything about riding a bike on here, do we? No, we don't. But I like Peloton to the long side, and I'd say picks them up if it comes back to 158.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to fitness, guys, you sort of do what other people do, not what actually makes any sense. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that the Peloton model or whatever it is makes a ton of sense in terms of fitness goals and all that. That doesn't matter. We had this conversation about Nike and what real runners use. None of that is terribly relevant. All that matters is that it is a bit of a fad, and it definitely is a COVID play. Immediately when we talked about the story, I had Nautilus up and sort of locked and loaded, ready to go. I do feel Peloton is expensive. I'm looking to short it at some point. I don't know if it'll be today, but I'm going to try to find a top on it if I can. Nautilus, on the other hand, is sort of gearing up into what could be a potential breakout. Everyone knows the Bowflex name. They have an extending business here. And if you feel uncomfortable picking up something like a Peloton, certainly Nautilus isn't a horrible way to go if you really think we're going to get this part 2 and it's going to be bad and further lockdown. So this 21 area and then breaking through like 22, 23. If we can then hold consolidation above that 50 period, it's certainly poised to make a run to the top. The 5% you see today is just Peloton sympathy. So do watch for some pullbacks. If Peloton does pull back, you might not get that break today, Brandon.
Yeah, not a lot of people going to gyms anytime soon, I don't think. Let's have a look at some upgrades and downgrades for you this morning before we get to Arun and have a look at the market. I mean, yeah, Peloton's on here, guys, on the upside. You can see 10% now, 10+%. T-Mobile here as well. There was a little bit of news on Monday regarding Dish and T-Mobile. Walmart, some of the retailers started off strong yesterday, ended the day a little bit on the weak side. And Hyatt, the only one on this side, really worth mentioning. Some of the travel names back to the downside as far as weakness. No one traveling anytime soon either, guys.
There you go. And Walmart getting a nice little upgrade. And hey, if you feel like there's going to be like that second wave, Walmart did pretty well the first time through. There's going to be obviously a lot of movers here, and you sort of jump over to, and you have to stick to that Peloton. And I didn't throw up the chart. Now, if I'm saying that I'm looking for a short today, it's not going to be as simple as, okay, the high right now, that 163, oh gosh, it runs into 163, I'm going to short it. Probably not going to go that route simply because of the liquidity that Peloton has. You do get a bit of a spread, 15, 20 cents or so. It's a bit hairy to take something like that in front of a high of day right at the open. I'd much rather it make a push to the upside and then find like a 165, 170, something along those lines at top, or take a shot cracking back down through 160. Because what that allows me to do is if it makes this little break here, call it like 159.85 or so, and I grab this little short, hopefully I'm not paying down too much further than 159.50. Before you get to the pre-market low, you're talking about $2, $3, $4 winners, and then I can go with a tighter stop at like a 161. So I wouldn't even give that to the high of the day. That's probably the only way you'd see me in Peloton to the short side before the market opens, guys.
I'm still looking at BFT here as we just continue to push higher, man. 1540, 1542. Let's go pay safe. Let's get on the board soon and take this one to the moon. This is one where we're just watching. I mean, I'm not in anything right now. I'm just actually counting the pennies in my account because we're long right here. 1283, I think it was. And then we did get some more on a 1350 dip the last couple of days. So yeah, hell yeah on BFT, guys. I know a lot of you have loaded back up on that. And then we will go over Palantir in a bit. Brendan came with December 31st. And again, another name that we're long down here. So Palantir does do the dip and dance, gives us a reload down here at 22.23. That was good. I didn't reload anything. I was sort of thinking that we could break and get back to 18.19, but obviously that didn't happen. Palantir probably $50 mid next year.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of individual names showing positive momentum at this point, but overall the market trying to go negative as we speak. Let's bring in Arun here and figure out what we need to be aware of as far as overall levels on the futures here. Arun, just turning southbound as we speak here.
We're turning southbound, but I mean, it's to me, this is a lot more sideways than anything. We are pretty much in a congested area. We got here yesterday. We were trading here pre-market before we fell off. It's also the area that we've been trading on Friday. So there's a lot of action inside of this zone here. So in terms of trading, let's just say yesterday was the day where the market was moving freely, had declared brand new levels. So there's a lot more area to move around with. Now we're inside that congestion area, less opportunity. So the levels I'm going to look at, 37.25, that's been in play for a couple of days now. That's still the top end. And 36.45 is the bottom end that I've got. So if we can get underneath into that 75 area, 36.75, then I'm going to start looking for some longs. I think that's most likely at the moment. If we can get down there, that's probably the only trade. Of course, to get that short, we're going to need to cross 3,700 and start to actually taper off. But there's a lot of action in there. So I'm going to be very careful on how I take that short, because it's not going to be one of those easy reads that I'm going to see. So 37.25 is still the top end. 36.45 is going to be the bottom. We still have that 36.20 that we had declared yesterday. Now that held really well off the open yesterday in the first 45 minutes or so yesterday. So picking up that long on the dip yesterday worked out really well. So that level's still in play, 36.20. But in terms of bands, 36.45 and 37.25. And longs in front, either one, you can take the breakout. But again, keep in mind, Christmas is a few days away. Holiday volume is in play at this point. So no point in forcing trades if they're not setting up proper with the risk ratios, right? Expect a lower volume. Yesterday was a special case because of the news that we had. We don't have that same news today, so it's going to be a little different.
Yeah, I was going to get your take on that, Arun. Two things. First, yesterday ended up being somewhat normal as far as participation in the overall market and volume is concerned. But as we go towards that half day on Thursday, we are still expecting things to kind of progressively get slower and start to see lower and lower volume.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the holiday being on a Friday, you're going to see a lot more people take days off leading into that, right? So having the high volatile event yesterday, that gets a lot of the volume done. Now leading into that half day on Thursday, we're going to see volume taper off. The one chance you may have is a close on Wednesday, tomorrow, most likely. It's either going to be today or tomorrow. I'm going to bet it's tomorrow, which is when trading gets handed off between the senior traders and the junior traders on the floor. So the senior traders are going to do most of the volume. They're going to hand it off their desks to the junior traders, and they're just going to have to manage it. So I'm expecting that handoff to be done tomorrow around the close. So maybe some volatility there. It could happen today too, but I'm expecting it to be tomorrow. But regardless, that's probably the last event in terms of volatility and volume, barring any news that we get. But that is it. Expect a taper off into volume.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Arun. We'll check back in tomorrow before we get to that potential opportunity heading towards the close on Wednesday again. Half day on Thursday, guys, and then off completely on Christmas Day, which is Friday. The market closes 1 p.m. On Thursday. Keep that in mind. Let's go to Apple. Apple next. Reuters. I put this first on the actual watch list because it's important. It was Reuters that came out with that report. And if it is Reuters, that means that there's some validity to it. They did actually ask for a comment from the company. Apple did decline to comment on future products, but because it is Reuters that was reporting it, there is some validity to it. But yeah, 2024, the target date for a potential Apple iCar, I guess it would be called.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how much the date matters. I saw some speculation that from insiders that 2025 with COVID concerns, if there's issues when it comes to production, but you're throwing things up in the air here, and who knows? Because at this point, it's still reasonably possible that Apple doesn't have to manufacture this car. There could still be some kind of a partnership, which I think a lot of people thought was the likely course, and it does make more sense to me. I just figured, considering the margins that Apple's used to and some of what they have coming in the pipeline, certainly they can do whatever they want. But it would have felt like it made more sense to me to sort of jump in terms of a partnership. And maybe that's exactly what still happens here. And the number that we're watching today is 132.50, which is the current top. We're actually brushing up on it right now. Just remember, overall, Apple's going to follow the market a little bit. But if you're watching some of the indexes, just remember that when you're watching that ES, Tesla's going to move it a little bit. So just watch out for that little bit of effect you're going to have in case there's a bit of a sell-off in Tesla. But I'm going to take a bit of a break through the high of the day on Apple. I do feel like usually going long and finding a bit of a base and being patient with it is the better play, especially if you can find support in the futures as well. So I'm not going to go all in on a 132.50 break. Apple's the kind of stock that you can kind of get away with liquidity-wise. Not kind of. You can get away with it in pre-market, but it doesn't always mean the best trade. I don't like breakouts on an Apple at 9:20 or 9:15. So if this happens really, really early, I'm definitely not going to take it. But if you're talking like 9:30, that's a different story in Apple through that high of day. And look, if it dips down, 130 is going to be a defense for sure. Pre-market lows, I don't care too much about pre-market lows with Apple. Sometimes when it dips down, it's likely to break it and then find another bottom. So for now, let's have a look at 130 if it comes into play. I don't know if it will.
Yeah, yesterday here, this is what we did yesterday. We did some damage on the stock. You see the price 127. I tweeted it out. What we waited for yesterday when that news came out, I sat here, watched the whole thing, was about to push the button at 126.50, didn't do it, waited for this break of the high of the day, 127 and change, hit that, and then you can see the out, that's 80%, and then the rest out after market, which was like 130, 129 and change. We didn't tweet that out, but there it is right there. We did take that on the break. So yeah, hell yeah, like 127 right there. We took it and tweeted it out yesterday. So if you're following that, that's good. So it's nice to wake up here to a 132 and change. I always say hold, don't trade Apple, but whatever. I mean, I've been trading it the last couple of days and just doing really well on it. So really happy with Apple. We did hit some of the breaks yesterday. We watched it come to the downside, and I think we had this break as well of 125.25 yesterday. We had some Microsoft trades, and yeah, 132.50. Hell yeah, sign this guy up for that one. I mean, Apple just is a monster. I've said it's the best stock. It'll probably be my pick for 2021. I mean, I've already said numerous times on the show, they have unlimited amounts of catalysts, and now you can add like 3 or 4 more on one simple Reuters note yesterday. So look, I mean, Apple just continues to go to the high side. They also have a dividend, by the way. So if you want one of the best bets, one of the safest plays in the market, I would say take Apple. I don't know if you want to buy, this is close to all-time high. It's 137 and change, I believe, for all-time high. I was just talking with Greg. Yeah, 137.98. So, I mean, you're buying high. So, I mean, if you want to wait for Apple to come back to 120 and change, I would say that. But there's nothing wrong with having a starter position right now. But Neil's right. It's all about what you think about the market. And if you're bearish on the market, then I wouldn't touch Apple. But if you do like levels from here, Apple only goes higher, guys. Stonks go higher.
All right, speaking of the Reuters report on the Apple car, they also mentioned the potential for Apple going to outside sources for certain parts when it comes to the LiDAR technology that they're going to have to use if it is going to be autonomous, entirely autonomous. So we saw laser, we saw that MVIS, Luminar, obviously not laser. We saw MVIS and we saw Velodyne all move sharply higher late in the day yesterday. VLDR, the Velodyne stock, definitely benefiting the most so far in the pre-market here this morning. We can have a look at LAZR or MVIS as well, guys.
Yeah, I had MVIS up with this trio going over them this morning, and I could be wrong about this, but it just feels like Laser and VLDR look like they might be more enticing setups. And I mentioned Laser pulling back and sort of consolidating off that top and having trouble breaking out. VLDR doing a very similar thing here. You look at this double top 2840. I think just to put it in perspective, this is already sort of broken through the 27 top, so you are holding above that range. I think that's why psychologically holding 27 even, where you also had that break at 7 o'clock. Yeah, I pointed that one up, Brennan. I should have been all over that. I was actually here for crying out loud. But anyways, 27 even is going to be that first level. If it holds support there, you might get a secondary push. That double top at 2840 is going to stand out a little bit here for potential breakouts. So VLDR, I'll like it a couple of ways to the long side. I feel like, and we'll get to Fubo in a bit, I feel like that one could be primed for a bit of a turnaround. I don't know if that's going to be the case with Laser and VLDR. I'm still looking to the long side with both of these. VLDR is definitely the first look. I like that 27 on a pullback and any kind of consolidation off the open if it tries to sell into it. It's got to hold it. Maybe give it an extra 10, 15 cents just due to the liquidity. Other than that, you're going to look at that 2840 break. Just be a little bit cautious. I mean, if I saw something crazy when 2840 broke and there was just a redonkulous 50 level in front of it, I'd probably back away and allow it to maybe test that level before getting it. 10 cents probably isn't going to matter too much when it comes to this name.
Yeah, I'm going to solve that problem. I'm going to take 2850 break. So I'm just going to wait for this 2850 to break to the upside and then not even worry about this day high. Like Neil said, I mean, I'll take the 10 cents. For me, it doesn't matter, although the shares, may matter. 10 cents matters to me, but, I don't know. I think I'll wait for 2850 to break. Yeah, that's VLDR. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. You talked about Laser, obviously, coming through as well. But look at the volume on some of these names, 1.5 million. I believe Velodyne had a bit more, 2.5 million. But again, it's double the price. And look, we're up another 7%. I mean, Luminar it's the same price. It's $38.50. We just talked about $28.50. Now you have a $38.50 top. And then on the daily chart, actually, this looks a little bit better because we do know that there's room to go up here. And I mean, the last time we were in this area, there really was no close in this area, 38.50. We did have a close down here, 37. And then we did have a close up here, 41. So there is some gaps to fill in here. And I think we can get for sure to 41.50 on Laser today. And I mean, it's just about the move, right? I mean, that's the daily chart. And then look what happened yesterday. We talked about that, a nice little bump up. And then this is the Apple news. It comes right down here. I think it fell initially because they were like, uh-oh, Apple's going to get into this game. And then it was like, no, Apple's going to have some partners in this. So yeah, back to the upside there. And then today, even higher. I mean, look, if you want to trade these names, I think Laser, they're all fine. You can take out the tops on any one of these things. 38.50, I think, is good. And then VLDR 28.50, I think is good. But look, I mean, this kind of leveling out. And then Laser trying to get going here. So I actually think a 38.50 break on Laser is a little bit better than VLDR.
All right, guys, let's go to Fubo TV. We've been talking about Fubo. It seems like every single day for the past 4 or 5 days in a row. 5 days now, the stock has gained more than 105%. Needham waited until it was up 80% to upgrade it and increase their price target to $60. We're hovering just below $60 here today at, this is 58 right here. But 15.5% again today for Fubo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 105% for Fubo.
I'm going to draw a line in the sand. No, I'm kind of kidding here. You have a move like this. You have multiple days sort of ramping to the upside. I got the 15-minute up here. And then you have what is clearly, I mean, on volume, spectacular volume. So you look at the volume spike on the way up to begin this week, and you get what is just a fantastic move into that $50 range, right? So nothing quite like it in the last couple of sessions. Already been a big time runner. They got the news, looking into some live sports possible deals, exclusivity there, and then you get a gap up into that, and you get a price target increase. You start to line these things up, and at some point you do get pullbacks. Obviously, there could be an opportunity with that in laser and Velodyne. I just feel like with the Apple side of it, maybe that's not going to be the way to go just yet. But Fubo, I don't know. First look off this 60. It's already giving you some consolidation off the top. I'm probably going to be trying to short this one today. That said, drawing a line in the sand is a little bit crazy. If it makes a run off the open, breaks this high, 58.88, right at the top here, and then immediately reverses and cannot find its way past 60, or breaks 60, goes like 10, 20 cents or so, and then cannot go any further than that, slams back down, I'll try to jump into the short of Fubo. It just feels like there's a really decent chance that even if you just fill the gap, I mean, at that point, you're still talking about the stock being up double in like 3 or 4 sessions. So it's pretty reasonable to think that you could get back into that 50 to 52 range, and you wouldn't even need that. If you get this right and you get a short in that 57 to 58 range, assuming it tests that 60, you're going to be getting a nice little 10% return max. You maybe even get half of that, and the risk to reward is still going to be there. So maybe it's a breakout trade today. If that's the case, there'll probably be some pie in my face, or metaphorical pie in my face, not real. And I'll be probably losing on the short side of that trade, but I'm not going to just put an order in front of 60 and then close my eyes. I am going to watch it trade up into that range off the pre-market high in 60 even, and try to catch it on the way back down.
Yeah, I mean, calling it to go up to 60, to me, if it goes up to 60, I guess, at this point would be a decent long. What is it at, 50, 57, 58? Yeah, I mean, you got to watch out here. The liquidity is pretty good, man, 1.4 million. Yeah, I mean, we're just up a lot from here, but looking at this, I mean, why can't we just go long here on a 58 break? I think that makes sense. We did top out at 58.75. Sports, obviously, all the rage now as that comes back in. It's just a new deal for them. I don't know if they get scooped up. I don't know that much about the technology here at all. I'll probably leave this alone. But again, this kind of a deal does scream to me a little bit overdone here. Another 15%. I guess we could find out the shortable interest on this name, but I mean, it just keeps on pushing higher and higher and higher. My guess is the shorts are in on Fubo, and they're just getting pushed higher. So if it is a decent shortable share size there, Brennan, let me know, because I do like this 58 break. Anything north of like 20% short on this name, and I think it's worth taking a shot.
Yeah, 19.2% I see for the short interest on that. So yeah, it's pretty high. Anything around that 20 mark, typically on the high side. Sean, you want to talk about Palantir here? There's no additional news this morning on Palantir, but another 3% on that Army contract re-up.
Yeah, yesterday. I mean, if we had the rewind button, we could talk about it, because yesterday we were talking about that Army trade. I even showed on our watch list that we talked about that yesterday as well. And so, yeah, we were long, guys. You guys know we were long 26.50 a bunch of times, waiting for this move. And it finally happens in the afternoon. And I know a lot of you want us to do an afternoon show. I'll keep tweeting some stuff out as well. But yeah, I mean, this was just a fantastic move to the upside. Finally happens after the show is over. But those of you know we were long Palantir the whole way. And then now today, I mean, I wrote down, I've already tweeted out the sticky notes, so I won't show it too much. But there it is, 29.75. That was just the top. And look, I mean, I trade around quarters. So you guys know that. Like right now we're at 29.25. That could be a possible breaking spot. I mean, I'm looking honestly to possibly get longer down here, 27.25, and using 27.50 as the dropping off spot there to know that we're wrong. I mean, I don't know if it gets to that extent to the low side. If you look at a daily chart though on Palantir, I mean, we're just now breaking above. This is exactly what we want to see. Some consolidation down here, not even close to a test of the 50 period. And now we're breaking higher and higher, man. So, I mean, $30.20 is that high? About a couple, what day is this? November 30th. And right now we're breaking out, man. I think we can go long. And this is why, look, that's 29. The top of this, the top of there, the top today is all 29.75. So let's wait for that, but I think we should build a little bit as the market opens. Let's just quick check. We haven't looked at the imbalance locator much today. The LA Clippers are on here. I guess that's the Paul George signing. That's not the LA Clippers, of course. Palantir, 300.
That'd be a sell if it was the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, playoff P there. I think he's 1 for 11 in game-winning shots. That's the truth. Palantir there, 370,000 to buy. So yeah, man. I mean, I like Palantir. We're gonna look to get long everywhere we can, including right around here, 29. We'll put some bids, defend 29 early. Not too many shares, and we'll see if we can't get more. I mean, I don't think it's gonna drop to 28, guys. So I mean, this is kind of just pipe dreaming. So let's try to get long 29, and then we'll just keep taking out the top. People are gonna get squeezed on this name as well.
Yeah, just watch it. I did get into Peloton here, a little bit early. That 160 did break to the downside. Just putting up the higher time frame so you can see more clearly the gap that we're working with this and some other names here. If I can get already some at like 158 before the market even opens up, fantastic. And then down looking at that 155 as a possible target. So, again, it's just one of those, it's gapped so far. Even a modest retracement is certainly going to be healthy in this case. So Peloton already in pre-market. 10 minutes ago, if this was like 9 o'clock, I probably wouldn't have done it, but it's close enough to the open. And Peloton's done 1 million shares, so the volume's pretty good.
We got a few to get through here. Let's jump down to C3 AI, BFT, that fully transamine acquisition, PaySafe SPAC, back on the list this morning. Quietly gained 6.5% on Monday. Up again today. You can have a look at BFT. But I want to make sure we talk about AI here, guys. Definitely the leader as far as these recent IPOs are concerned. Up again this morning, back to recent highs here for AI.
Yeah, it's interesting because like the first thing we said, and we all said this, like 2 days into all those IPOs coming out, was, man, AI sort of went under the radar and was the strongest of the bunch, and that certainly continued. Yesterday was a fantastic breakout trade, and there's almost no way that if you asked me what I thought was going to happen if we touched 170, gave a pullback on AI, and then essentially we're going to open in the pre-market here below that 170 mark, I would have told you decent chance it rolls over and I'd be looking to see if it pulls back in. That's just not happening here. We're testing 175 and it's setting up like a similar break to what we had yesterday through the pre-market top. The only thing is I would probably use less shares on a 175 break. If this thing sniffs 200, that is an auto jump in front for me to try to take a shot at it. Obviously, it's been successful, but that'll be like 2x. We saw this thing trade underneath $100 on its first day, so I think there's a decent shot that if it even sniffs that level, I'm going to be shorting it. First things first, it has to get there in a 175 break as opposed to 174. Feels a little bit better, but it was the top break that worked out for you there yesterday, and you have to at least revisit the possibility. Anything below, it closed at 161, but anything below 160, I just feel like if it holds below that price, you're probably going to look at a retracement level, and it could go all the way to 140, 145. When this breaks out, liquidity just goes out like a vacuum. That's what happened on the way up today. I'd expect, especially holiday week, same thing would happen if it broke below that 160 level.
We just took a quick 7 cents on Palantir. We did get some bids there. We are long now at 07, I think it was 05 there. And now we're printing 17. So an early little barbecue here for Palantir as we go up into the money, a small little 12 cents. But it's nice to put a coffee on the table now and capture that profit. We're out at 20% right there. We'll see if we can hold more. We were looking for spots to get in, and now we're into Palantir. I'm not dropping this until 28.50 for sure. We'll average into the 28.50 spot. That's where we closed yesterday. So we'll use yesterday's close as that key. And here we go, guys. Already a nice little 12-cent winner here on Palantir, and more to come. Waiting at VWAP here around 29.35 or so to get out.
All right, Tesla back to yesterday's lows here in the pre-market, guys. We had a bit of a sell-off into the close yesterday. First day on the S&P 500. We had the Apple news come out late in the day. It sold off right through to the end of the day. We're right at those levels as we speak.
Can I say that I wish I had this instead of Peloton right now? I didn't necessarily want Tesla at 9 o'clock in the morning. I was looking at a 650 level break. I was looking at 670. We thought that yesterday Tesla would be a sell, the hangover from the S&P 500 edition. Now you have Apple coming in as a possible competitor. That rumor, well, I mean, it's through AP, so I think certainly, or Reuters, I think, so certainly some juice to that. It just feels like it's an awesome opportunity to maybe play a little bit of momentum. it really hasn't. And if it does break like this, yesterday's bottom, you do feel like you could see 620, 625. These are all healthy type of pullbacks there. So like Sean mentioned, ignore 695. Just try to pretend that it didn't go up there and try to imagine that 680 is the top, because I think that's a little bit more reasonable. So from that top, 10% down from there, you're talking like 612. So to get down to 620, nothing unreasonable about that whatsoever. Is today the day? I don't know. It just feels like we're probably going to touch it before the end of the year on some kind of a dip. So for those of you that are looking to get in, personally, I would wait for that. If we get any shot at 670 on a spike, you'll probably see me try to play that level. I'll let it break like I did the last time I tried to take that short. I took it like 3 times. I'll allow it to go up and see if I can't nibble at it as long as it doesn't break 675. But it does feel like first things first, we might take out that bottom, and 620 is around where I think you could see some consolidation.
Yeah, I think we'd all try to short if we did get up to this 670, so that's a good level for sure. And then, look, guys, we were breaking down. We're watching. This is a 3-minute chart, so we only have 5 minutes to go, but we are breaking that 645. We did like that. Thank you, Ms. V. With Hydration Nation now, someone said, let's get hydrated. Valeria went and got the water. Thank you for that, Valeria. Did I have this in the fridge? Yeah, I did. Okay, it's not super cold. I don't know why. Okay, 650 to the downside there, 645. I like Tesla short. We were playing the short all yesterday, so why not look at that today? But I have bigger fish to fry. We will look at this as the market opens. I'd much rather talk to you quickly, guys, about NEO here. Up to $50 today. I'm bidding, come on, Neil. I'm bidding in the 50s to get, or even before the 50s, to get some long. Going to try to use yesterday's close of 49 as a base. I love this name. We always talk about it, but early on, man, don't forget about the dips that happen in NEO. We can make a move down here. 49.50. People just realizing some profit. NEO does have their haters on this spot as well. So watch out for NEO to come to 49. I have some bids throughout, but don't get me wrong. If we break $50, we're going to continue the cash cow on NEO. I believe $50 is a nice little breaking spot there, and we'll hit that with some decent shares, guys.
All right, guys, a couple of minutes to go here. Let's talk about Aurora Mobile, JG, on the NASDAQ, up better part of 100% here. Was up more than 100%. They are teaming up with an EV maker. They did not name said EV maker, but they're getting into the EV space as well. This thing trying to get back above $6 currently. Top of the pre-market range there was 650, so it touched 650 twice. You got to give it to 650 as far as risk is concerned, but long way to go here. Was trading in the threes, the lows threes yesterday for JG.
Yeah, this is one that I've been, I had a bit of a short at just after 7 o'clock, and I really wish I'd been looking at Laser or Fubo at that time, but it is what it is. I was looking at the wrong stock, and I was trying to short this one off the high. It looked pretty good for a bit, and then you had this support down at like $5, ramped up off of that level. I just got right out. It's too early in the morning to fight it. I tried the top, and I thought I had it. I probably did at 650. I couldn't hold on, and it came back to this level. So forget about 5 for now. I'm watching 575 below that price. Fair enough, it's failed, maybe give you an opportunity at the short. It just feels too strong. You're catching a bid almost everywhere on JG. I actually hope it breaks that 650 and then gives me a chance to sort of fade off of a parabolic move. Otherwise, I'm looking for that 575. Also on the watch list, guys, HUSN, Hudson Capital. This is a freight hub SPAC here, and this one already starting to come back in, so I was going to be looking at it off like a 4 to 420 area for a bit of a short. It does feel like this is already starting to sell off a little bit, so unless you get some kind of a real pop off the open that allows me to test that same level, I don't think I'm going to have the trade on HUSN. If it does get to 4 to 420, the out would be about 430. I wouldn't give it to that high of day.
Yeah, I was looking at, you're talking about JG there, right? Okay, so 619, 620. There's the Apple chart. We were looking at Apple again because we do like that one. Let's go back to a 1-minute chart. I like Apple 132.50 still, $6.55. Okay, just looking at JG, 17 million shares. Wow, for that one. And then another run. I know Neil's in it already, but I want to check back on Peloton. Okay, not really doing anything. This one, like we said, could drop. You do have a 157.50 there. BFT, this is the name that we like, man. Foley Transamine Corp, you all know that one. It's looking to take out the highs of the day as well, 1560, but it's a nice pullback in. So we got to be very, very careful with this one. We could still fill the gap. It was a beautiful run, as Brendan mentioned yesterday, into the close before pulling back even a little bit into into $15. We made that high in a pullback. So this stock can pull back. And to be exact on this one, I mean, you can take out the high. I'm also looking at 1545 right here, but that looks like a good spot to get a little long. So I like BFT with less than a minute to go here. We're already in Palantir, and we're looking for NEO to take out the high.
Yeah, there's one other one here, very quick if I can get this one in. I don't think I'm going to watch this, but AMTX, Amethyst, they're getting into the EV market through Nevo Motors, up 65%. This was a bit of a late edition. I saw a lot of people talking about this one in the chat. So it's made a bit of a top. If it breaks this 380, I was already looking at this one for potential breakdown trade, but it's looking like it wants to bounce off that going into the open. I'm probably looking at a few too many names to put a stop order in that just triggers. It is not Miss V on the bell. It is our resident schemer and joker. I think it's Randy on the bell. You know me, love him. There he is, always doing something fun. 5, 4, 3. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. 2 and 1. There. That's about right.
And there it is. The market is now open. Thank you so much, Randy, on the ones and twos for that one. So we do take a long right now. We're long Palantir. We're long NEO. We're taking some on the way through. We talked about defending 49.50 or 49 even. NEO not open yet, but we are long on that one. We also have VLDR.
VLDR, yeah. Yeah, VLDR does break right through. I mean, immediately sort of pulling back in that 28. Whether I wanted to defend 27, that didn't happen. It looks like it's a top break is in. JG is coming back. It's down through $6, so I'm looking at 575. I don't know if I said this. 575 is going to be the target where I'll start shorting that name.
VLDR 2769. Yeah, so we are long into VLDR here. We're waiting to see what does happen to the high side on this name. We're in it, so we got to wait at this point. Palantir doing exactly what we thought it would. We did take some longs down on the downside now. We could get some out. Our average price 75 now on Palantir. So if this keeps going up, we could have a decent spot here for this name. We do like that, giving it to 50 to break. We did talk about that. So Palantir now making some money for us. Good trade. NEO long at 60, still not open yet. We got to wait for it, guys.
And Peloton here, it did come off. And the opening, I was trying to get out on the first spike, at least some of my shares, and missed it by about like 10, 15 cents. It bounced off of 158. Looks like it might be heading northbound. I'm not going to give this one just unlimited amounts of room here, guys. And I just got JG back below 575. There we go. There's our first look in Peloton. So we'll start it off with a dance because I never use that key. I'm looking for the rest at a 155, 156. But VLDR is coming off heavy here. So have to watch to see. It's like 27.35 or so is that sort of consolidation from the pre-market where I might try to dip into some more shares if I still like it.
Yeah, we punched into long into way too many shares, I guess. But we're going to wait to see here what does happen. We're going to give it back basically a break of 27.50, which is about to probably happen right now. Let's just get out of a little bit more here if we can on the way down. So we do take some out there as it does bounce a little bit back up. So saving us some money on that side. NEO, are we open yet, NEO? I still don't see an end print. So we're still waiting on NEO to get open, trying to defend this 49 level. But we did dip down as much as 36 there. We're still long NEO, but not open yet. And then Palantir, we're waiting for it to go. If it does break, it breaks. But right now, taking some out, we're long 75. You can see the positions. 3 longs now. BFT through 50, through 40, NEO, Palantir, and VLDR, guys.
And JG makes its break, and whether I waited too long, certainly a 6 rollover is fine, but I wanted 575. I just scalped out 20 pennies here. If it makes a base, remember $5. This is where the short stalled out of me in the morning at about 725. So if it does go down there, I love it. Fine. I will definitely be all out of that trade in front of a 5 even and see if it doesn't bounce. Brendan?
Early weakness, guys, in Peloton. Another one from the list here. $2.50 drop right off the open there. Big time print to the downside for PTON, guys.
Booyah, yeah.
It's oh my goodness, thank you very much there, Brendan. There's the idea. You mentioned it, and I swear I'm not making this up. The second Brendan said the name, I actually got out that 155 target. So quick $4 move off of Peloton. It's nothing against them. Just sort of said it looked like an opportunity for a bit of a retracement. I like that little in and out very, very quickly. But to go to Fubo. Yeah, I might make that mistake a few times. Fubo. Thank you.
Fubo.
Yeah, I did not get the bottom break. I want either off of like 60 if it would have gotten up there, otherwise taking out the low. But the low of the day was it came and gone rather quickly. If it does try to come back in, I'd probably retest like 55 to 55.50 or so. VLDR, I tried to pick some up at the bottom there, and they came right back to the top. It got it to like 28.70 or so. Now hanging out in that 27.70 to 27.90 range. Might pick some up there in a bit of a dip buy, but I want it to settle down a little bit. Kind of wild off the open and the spreads opening up and the liquidity seemingly good, but below that 28, it got hairy down there.
I mean, look, you can't win on longs. I mean, look at the market. The market's just now like starting to spit to the downside here. So you got to watch out. Our Apple trade obviously doesn't hit through 132.50. Palantir does hit, and we got out. That was a small hit for Palantir, but I am looking to get longer. We did say if it ever comes back down into this 28 level, we'd try it. So we should have just tried it there, but I was looking at Apple. 28.23 was the bottom there. That's a great spot for Palantir. Like, I wish we would have had some orders there, but not too late to get those orders out. Neo down, man. I mean, it might break 49. We tried to think about it break. There it goes. We tried for it to break 50. We did get some in here on the pre-market, but this is the Neo move to the downside. We expecting this, so I'm just going to try to find a spot to get longer here on NIO, guys. I think we can make this back as it just turns red. I don't really see anything on Neo. We did have some defense down here, 48.30, but that's still a while away. Let's just try, what is this level right here? 48.70. This might be a good spot to pick some up Neo. I think we'll try it here, guys.
Brendan?
What's up, Beef?
News on Blink charging, guys. They're teaming up with Lee Valley Health Network here. So across their entire network in the U.S., they're going to have EV charging stations in their facilities or in their parking lots, I guess. 8.5% here. Nice move up through 40.5 for Blink, guys.
Wow, Blink on the run. I just know, I mean, laser's absolutely going like a laser beam. I don't know, that's horrible. But CCL, this was a little bit shocking to me. So it tests the top, and I should have been looking at this rollover, was watching a few other symbols, but I had a 2095 break just sitting there ready to take it if it did this move in the pre-market. Instead, you get the rollover, but now I'm selling bottoms. Don't necessarily love this. I'm going to give it a tight stop into VWAP because if it retests the high, I'd much rather that short over here in CCL. I didn't mention Sundial, but I am over in this name. It tried to test through pre-market highs after the great short that it was yesterday. Now breaking below that 52. I'm into that one off of that 52 level, guys.
And what a big win there. I mean, we literally take 4 times the shares at the bottom for Neo there. We don't get out of this on the break. We take more and bang, 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 straight to the upside now goes Neo. So what a great trade that's turned out to be. We're just getting them all out, man. We're scalping them out here near this high. Do I still think we're going to get back to 50? Yes. So we're going to leave a little bit on. That's for sure. Our VLDR goes down. I mean, we're 0 for 2 on some of these plays. We take VLDR upside there. Mistake. Breaks through 50. We're able to get some out around 28, so not a horrible trade, but VLDR coming down, Palantir coming down, and we missed the reload, but we do have the Neo reload. Look at this, guys. Palantir down here, 28.22, a great little spot there. Neo still that 20 cents in the money and moving higher, hopefully higher anyways. Brendan, give us another one.
The Colonnade acquisition, CLA, starting to go here as well. It came back into 14.5, starting to bounce off 14.5. Another one in that LiDAR group, guys.
And JG, we're going to go with, I don't know, we'll slay this dragon. 575. We quickly mentioned that one just before the open to you guys. Peloton actually breaking to the upside, 61, so just triggered into that one. Looks like it came immediately to the back northbound, but kind of sliding against us here. 5 even is the target on JG. I think it might have a bit of a bounce at that price. It hasn't happened yet. Oh, probably should have mentioned AI here. AI off that 175. It has rolled over off that price. I was still looking a bit bullish on a 175 break. Clearly that hasn't happened. I'm going to throw that out the window, at least for now, and then maybe think about a retracement because I thought maybe it would push a little bit higher. Now it seems like the sell has come on. AI has gone so much. You saw the last couple of days here. If it does retest 175, I'll probably take a shot shorting it at least once.
Oh, man, did we ever miss that Palantir reload? Damn it. It's right back to where we had it, 75. So we take a small hit on Palantir, but damn it, it's right back to where we were. So if you didn't get out where I got out, good for you. 29 break, we like, obviously, on Palantir as well. So let's take more shares there if we can get it. Our Neo trade, man, though, that's a nice little belly dancer as we continue to go higher on that one. So we're looking out for that, putting my order in to get some more shares on Palantir if we do break. I mean, Neo, we called this move. Like, we got a little greedy there, taking a little bit of shares off the open. We were able to get some out there for 5 cents and then again for about 20 cents. I think we're long there 60, yeah. So that's out 82. So that was good. But then we let it drop all the way against us, and then we loaded the F up there, and now it's the money bags going on NEO. So great little trade there. Hell yeah for that one. Big win now. 65 cents in the money on a decent amount of shares there for NEO. So bringing our day back to life there. Thank you, NEO, for kind of rinsing and repeating the same action that you always do.
And thank you, CCL. We'll do backflips. It was tricky yesterday. Today, not so much. I mean, we're thinking about shorts here. They work out. We hit that 95 break. I just got some shares out. I took the 10-cent scalp and then 20 here. CCL is always going to be a name where you're going to take profit. 5, 10 penny moves here. It tends to find some support off those obvious levels like that 50 area. So I'd be all out likely of CCL at 50 unless it makes a retest of 21 in VWAP and I can reload. Brendan, what's up?
Another alert here on Fubo, guys. Back to basically where we started the day. We did have some selling initially at the open there, but look at this bounce off 53, immediately back through 57 for Fubo, testing these pre-market levels, guys.
All right, we're already into Apple here right now. Yeah, I mean, Fubo, what a monster that one apparently is. We're long 99s. We're going to wait for the top to get more shares. We missed that. I mean, when we talked about it earlier, we talked about Apple dropping down and then getting long 131.50. Missed opportunity, so we pay up a little bit and take some. I'm going to average into that 31.50. So if that goes, that's great. There goes Palantir. Hell yeah. Bang, we make that money back on Palantir there. Don't know why I hit the Brendan one, but there it is. Thank you, Brendan, for everything that you do. But Palantir, we had that one, man. We've had this one long all day. Unfortunately, we get dropped off a little bit there at 28.50, but there's the banger for Wow, good move for Palantir, guys. Making moves to the upside right now. Congratulations. I'm just going to get some. I'm getting some out as we speak, and we got more shares there on that break through 29.25. We talked about that. Now we're 30, 34, 35. Great trading over here, guys. NEO 55 cents in the money. Palantir ripping upside as well. Go Palantir. Look at this move. Yes, sure. It's money bag time.
Fubo making a 10% bottom to top push. I didn't think this was going to come and retest this 58, 59 area, but it immediately is happening. You do have this level on pre-market, which was like 57.74 to 58. This is what I'm shorting off of. If it goes back to high day, we already outlined the plans there, so I just jumped into this. I'll go to JG in a second. That continues to fall. It's like 50 pennies in the money, and I did get into Sundial, and CCL's in the money. But Fubo, wow, that is a big-time run. I have shorted into it, but it's going to be the tighter stop for now off 58. I think this can come right back into like 55, half 56, and then we can take a quick little $1.50 type of trade on a retracement. Fubo, I did not see that coming. When it flushed, I thought that was going to be a one and done, and we missed our opportunity. Now we're right back all over this trade. Here comes 56. Let's see if we can't scalp a buck, and then that $1.50.
Okay, we're canceling. We're going to give Palantir some room to the downside, but looks like we're probably going to get out if this does come back down and break that 79. We enjoyed that run, man. That was a great run to the upside there, so let's see if it can continue now. We're just going to give it back basically to VWAP, which is right here, 80.85, and if that breaks, then we'll be out of Palantir, but all good on that name. 35 cents in the money, and there goes Apple, guys. Wait a second, what did we just take that break? We took 132 break, so that was a good trade. We're just going to keep getting this off. We're long down here, 131.71. We took some couple different longs there. I didn't even notice that about Apple. Now it's ripping to the high side. So a nice little 50-cent win on Apple, 40 cents here on NEO, and we're waiting for Palantir to do something. But Apple making dreams come true to the upside. Let's just keep on going.
Yeah, and Tesla not making dreams come to the upside. It's still continuing its fall. 620 hasn't come yet. We're looking like 636 as the current low. If it breaks any lower than this, we did miss our chance to go short. We're looking for that consolidation, maybe around that 620 mark. Yeah, so I scalped out some of Peloton here when we reversed to the long side on this break, and then keystroked out of the rest. I went to put a stop order in and ended up punching out. I didn't want to chase it. It did test the 164 top. It's already starting to come back in. So Peloton was a great short. It could have been a good long on the reversal. I made a tiny little bit there, but kind of bungled the second half of that trade. It happens at the open. But I'd rather get triggered out putting a stop in than have no stop at all. Brendan?
Another great opportunity here. QuantumScape, guys. Remember QS? They make those solid-state batteries. Getting some attention today on the Apple report as well. So 102 down here at the bottom off the open. We're at 120 now for QS. 25% move.
Oh man, that was going to be another call for that stock. I love QuantumScape there, and just keeps ripping up. They have the batteries involved there. Okay, here's Tesla, guys. This is the level that we talked about. This is why I dumped some shares there at 669 on that move. Come on, 1 minute chart. Let's go. I want to go to a 3 minute chart just to show you guys. It might be time to get ready to reload some Tesla. I talked about that a little bit. Where is that top? This was the 635 there that we talked about on Friday, where we bounced right before 350, before the number came out, and it started to go to the high side. So it's got to hold this 630, 632. If it doesn't, guys, look out below for Tesla as it just keeps on marching to the downside right now. 630, 635. I'm going to go short, I think, through 635. This is looking pretty spicy here for Tesla. Wow.
And spicy is this C3 AI. It's pushing right back up to that 175 mark. Eyeballs are on it here just to make sure we don't miss any chance of a rollover. It's a double top right off the open in the first 5 minutes. I can tell you that CCL, and we'll go with a little more Mortal Kombat action. I might as well cancel the reload. That's not going to come into play here. But essentially, flawless victory, except for the fact that I could have maybe, and I tried to take some here at 90 to 95, again, when it retested the same price. But it's right down towards that 2050, I should say. If it breaks that, I'll only have the last 10% of the trade. And we'll see if it does go all the way down to 20 even. Of course, wanted this to happen yesterday. It did not. Back over to some other names when it comes to IPO space. I talked about the C3 AI at 175. Airbnb at 175, 174.98, the current high. It's pulling back off that level. If it catches a bounce here at 168, lock that one and load it away for a 175 break on Airbnb later on in the session. Brennan.
Big mover from yesterday, guys. WBAI, if you remember, 500.com, a Chinese name, 15.5% again today. Decent volume here as well. Just testing these levels from yesterday midday, this 440 up to 450. It did get above it, but right back down here. WBAI doing volume again.
How could we forget WBAI? Okay, Palantir, we did get some out. Good trade there on this reload, and then again and again and again. So Palantir, we're back on that stock. So that's been a good one for us. Apple, look at this, guys. Now making new highs. We've been long here. 131.60, 131.90, 132.50 break. Now we're into the 70s. So a nice little dollar win from our initial in down here. We averaged up. Some of you asked, do we ever average up? And here's a perfect example. Yes, into stocks that we love, held to the yeah. And here's a nice little average up into Apple as we just continue to go. I said the best name you could ever own, and you know, without losing sleep at night anyways, is Apple. Straight to the upside. It just keeps on going, guys. Up, up, and away. Making that money on this train today. And it's been a good one for us, man. That Apple, yeah, definitely slapping faces off. As Apple just keeps on ripping.
I'm only slapping faces because I only said two things on Apple, and it was like, buy in front of 130 and buy 132.50 break, neither of which I actually did. But this is a case of not wanting to have too many. If I trade more than 5 or 6 names in the first 15 minutes or so, it's never a good thing. So I hold off on putting those extra stop orders or those extra things that we're looking at just so I can try to focus. It turns out Apple was definitely going to be a good one. That goes without saying. I mean, I'm glad you have it there, Sean. AI is creeping right back up towards this 175 mark. If it gets a little past this 173.30 range, I'll start to look to roll into something in front of that 75. Of course, I was not looking at the short originally, otherwise it would have been good. I am trying to think about this 175 area or shy of it for another rollover. It's just such a big time runner that if the pullback is in, I want a part of it. Brendan?
How about some Canadian content, guys? Ballard Power having quite the day here. BLDP, 7.5%. This is an interlisted name. You can trade it here in Toronto as well. Blew through 22 there like it wasn't even there. Look at the volume behind this move as well. They, late yesterday, announced that they've received an additional contract for more fuel or renewable fuel for city buses. So they make the converters for biofuel that are used in city buses, guys.
All right, all right. We're going to get out of some NEO. I don't know why we didn't reload there. Neil was talking about doing too many things, but NEO right there, a good little bottom. Once again, right where we were, man, NEO's going to be my #1 stock today, and it's a good one because, yeah, we put on quite a nice position here off of this. Averaged in. We called that play. We didn't get out. Our best out, unfortunately, is only 41 because this is when we were celebrating some of our other wins. We didn't acknowledge that. So I'm going to put some orders upside here now, 30. If we can take that, then I'll see if we can get back to the 50s. But NEO, a nice little win. New position here on Palantir. It does come right back to where we said we would try to load up again, and we did do that. So right now, 44 long here for NEO, for Palantir as we go right to 53. Can we get some out? Boom! Yes, we can. Man, are we cooking up some Palantir today off that reload there. So a nice little long here. Good, good. Keep going to the upside here. Turning a bad day good, I guess, here lately with some of these trades. Brendan, what up?
For anyone wondering, guys, there was news on Fitbit this morning, Australia, saying hard pass to Google buying Fitbit. So they did not get Australia approval. That was one of the conditions for this deal. So down 4.8% for Fitbit today on volume as well.
Yes, and we'll go with a bullseye on this one. I have probably a bit more to add about Fitbit, but again, it's not going to be too sexy. We can talk about that when things calm down. C3 AI, we got the top, we got the roll, 173.70 here. I like this over Airbnb. We'll see what happens there, but it got to VWAP. That's all I was looking for, so we'll quickly take the over $3 winner. If it goes further than that, fair enough. It's just been too strong a stock to me to gamble too hard to the short side, but we got it. I did get out of CCL. It bounced back, and again, you look at this bounce, and I got these shares out at 55, and I was intending on holding through. It then consolidated off of 60, and then I got out of all of it. Actually, accidentally got long a little bit that I was able to make 5 pennies on. Is what it is. CCL, definitely a fantastic trade. Always tune in early. We're at 8:30. We're starting for you guys, so we can go over more names today. I feel like we covered just about everything on the watch list, but not quite. A name that was not on the watch list. Yeah. I'm shorting Sundial today. I did try to throw it in there a couple of times off this 52. I did get in and out pre-market, but when it failed off the pre-market high, I dipped in off the open. Now it's flushing. If it can break and hold below 50, I think good shot to test 45, 46. So probably not as good of a trade as it was yesterday, but when I see a winner and an opportunity to short any kind of the positive news was a deal in the space and nothing to do with Sundial. I'm going to short that on any kind of a pop. It did fail. I didn't get the top, but who cares? A winner's a winner.
Yep, exactly. And look at Apple. You want to talk about a winner, man. Here we go. Let's just keep it coming with Apple. We'll probably tweet this one out for sure. We talked about buying dips all day. We talked about buying this 132.50 break. We did it, man. Like, we just put our orders in and bang, straight to the upside. This one was a great trade. Now you're still breaking higher. I don't know what else to say, but look at the board down here. Palantir, win. NEO, win. BFT, that broke. So that broke 15. So we're going to give it down to 14.90 right now. Maybe average in right now to BFT. What up, B?
Another one ripping here this morning. GameStop, guys, another 10% for GME. Just got through 17 yesterday. If you remember yesterday, their largest shareholder announced that they had increased their stake in the company. That is the private equity and capital firm that was founded by the founder of Chewy. So there's a combination there with Chewy, guys, but GME off to the races again.
Yeah, it's weird. We're looking at that one, and not necessarily as crazy as I thought it might have been off the open. I want to go back to this JG. Of course, this was on our watch list. There's not too much left here. It just continues to fall. That 575 break has been fantastic. Instead of trying to pick the top, which that's going to be embarrassing because I kind of had this one at the pre-market at 8:15, but it was too early to hold through. And I made another test, and I could have had it. But the rollover, I allowed it to go. We're in the money about 70 pennies here. If it breaks 5, and I talked about this level because I had this at 7 o'clock. Short, and it was support at 5 even. It bounced off 5 even. It's now trying to do the same thing. That's why I went ahead and took some out in front of it at 16s. If it breaks 5, I really do think there's another close to 10% move down there. That's why I'm going to hold on to the last of these shares for that bigger push. Sundial's through 50. We'll take some out in front of 59. There's bids every penny here, so you just want to make sure you take advantage of it. HUSN did miss out on this one, another new name in the EV space. It is bouncing back towards this 4 to 420. So I said I'd get in if it tried to test and roll over from 4 to 420. Getting close to doing that now. But remember, when you get consolidation off of a bottom and the volume after the open to the upside, I'm going to allow it to turn before I jump in front of what could be a bit of a parabolic push into the high of day.
Okay, so we are in the VLDR again off 2720 bottom there, taking some profits back on this name. So making a little bit back. I mean, obviously we did try the breakout there with decent shares. We only have half the position on right now. It just took 40 cents, or no, 30 cents, sorry. 2720, here it comes, gonna break this 2720 right now, and we'll get out. But what's up, B?
More EV action for you. Ride here, Lordstown Motors making a move. 8% today, just tagged 21 up there. They announced aftermarket yesterday. Bottom corner here, you can see that they remain on track to begin production of the Endurance starting in September of next year. So a little bit of a bump here for Ride, guys.
All right. We're back long Palantir. We're just defending that 28, so we're going to have to wait to see if anything does happen on that one. VLDR comes out on a break, so take a little bit of profit, lose a little bit. So kind of just a cricket trade there, as not much is happening. And welcome to the show, guys. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you oh so much. We could do a little like count here. I haven't even looked yet, Valeria. Let's get Valeria back on the screen and talk, because right now we have 8,400 people watching. And oh, I didn't even like it yet. Watch how simple this is, guys. There it is, like. So there you go. Make that little guy turn blue right now if you can. 8,300. We were at 1.3K. I think we can easily get to 2,000 over here in the next little bit. Look at Apple right now, just ripping. Give some Apple love on the chat here if we can, guys. There it is, 1.7K. Valeria, give them hell.
Hey guys, we have 8,000 of viewers and not even 2,000 of likes. Something wrong. Please be supportive and smash the like button right now. Back to Sean.
Good. Oh, here we go. Well, let's see what we're at right now. So Valeria wanted that 22K or 22K, 2,000. Wow, that was easy. Thank you so much for the love, guys, as well. Follow us all on Twitter. I just cracked 10,000 Twitter followers. So if you know anybody, how the heck can we get verified? I read that the verification there has been delayed for a little bit of time there. Thanks, Randy, for the confirmation. 2.4 thousand, 2,400, 2,500, and still ripping up. Thank you for the love, guys. Brendan,
speaking
it's
of
all
ripping
for
up,
you, my friend.
Yeah, well, thank you. Speaking of ripping up here, guys, the drone makers catching a bit of a bid here. UAVS, 38%. Just made a date high through $7 there on a big volume spike. 3 days in a row now for UAVS to the upside.
And Peloton just broke 165. I mean, so talk about the bottom, 155.50. This is where I got out at the bottom, and now I'm breaking along in the top. This is when we talk about not being sort of married to One Direction. Well, not the band, but so One Direction. I wanted the short. We had two longs. I bungled this long, the breakout through this little consolidation of 162. That was a keystroke error, but the 165 top break is on. If it gets to, I already said this in the pre-market, if it gets to like a 175, at some point I'll 1,000,000% be out. And then looking for a retracement short. These are all scalp trades up into those ranges. So the next look will be like a 167 area, and then we'll see what happens. I don't really have an ultimate target. The previous top here, this is like 164.20. That's what I would give it back to. Not all the way back into VWAP. I'm not going to let this thing retrace $5 on me. Not when we're taking a breakout of the high. Yeah, Sundial's working in the money. That's fantastic. But I want to get back over to CCL if I can. This one was fantastic. I really did think off of 2050 it would pop back up. That didn't happen, so I got all out and then missed any kind of a re-entry because it did not give the spike back up to like 80, 85 VWAP like I anticipated could have been the case. It's a great short. Winner is a winner, but maybe took that one off a little bit too early and should have hung on to just a few more shares.
Here we go, guys, and yes, there it is. Boom, destroyed once again is Apple. Apple 131 and change, 132 and change, 132. I mean, I gave all of these levels basically to everybody in the pre-market. We talked about hammering the 132 to go long. Now you're at 134, guys. All-time high of Apple, 137.98 coming into play. I think we could drop some right now and then watch it break higher. I mean, we don't really have anything here on Apple. Here's the daily chart. Whoops, I just minimized it. There goes the daily chart on Apple. I will have to find it again for you. Is this it? No. I will find the daily chart for you on Apple, but 134, a decent spot to probably get some out. There is some size here, but watch it just chew this up. They're not going to care, man. Everybody needs to buy Apple. You're not long Apple. What are you doing? You need to get long. You needed to get long $20 ago, to be honest with you. But here we go, breaking through 134. What a monster win here for Apple. 21 pennies in the money on Palantir as well. So defending, we did get some out there, bought some more at 28.20. It's going to be a negative day for us on Palantir, but this is a great trade. Let's see how high we can go up on some of these ones as Apple just keeps ripping. Like Apple right there again, breaks easily through 134, guys. What a great move. 5% today. That's like $100 billion or more probably added to their market cap. Let's go.
Yeah, let's just a few EV companies it's added to its market cap, certainly. I feel like we did neglect FireEye. If Peloton breaks 164.20, I don't want to throw away all the profits I made so far this morning. If it breaks below that 40, it should have gone past and held that 165.50 by now. So it feels like got to get out of that one and see if we can't reload somewhere else. FireEye made a run at the top and then came back in. This was a big time secondary push play in the afternoon. So I would look to see if it can hold VWAP, maybe give you a breakout through 22 even or 21.85. But I'll get back to FireEye in a quick little bit here. Speaking of Peloton, it's still trying to go. So I've done the dip, and I talked about this 164.20 level. That's what I was working off of. It did just bounce almost to the dime off that level, so I got my my re-entry or my reload off of that. I'm just back into the original amount of shares I had on the break. If it gets to 166, I will scalp a buck if I can on that reload and then see back to plan, or sort of back to the previous plan of a 167 area, and then hopefully hang on and then just see where it goes. Maybe a trailing stop, even though I stink at those. Just got the scalp on that reload, so Peloton continues to be my best of the day, but you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth when it's already put in a $10 move, guys.
All right, just reading. Oh, more work for us to do. Okay, that's good. We are going to be putting out some more videos coming up soon. One of them is going to be on Peloton coming up. And okay, 134 drop. Let's give Apple, I don't know, man. I mean, I just tweeted this out so you could see what we were talking about, but 133.40 maybe back to the downside. I don't want to dump Apple, but again, we got to enjoy some of these profits. We're in the money $2 now on Apple, guys, so we got to watch out for it to pull back. I think I'm going to use this level right here. We use the 75s. If we get taken out here, so be it. 133.75. Thank you, Mr. Randy in the ear, and we are ready for Mr. Wickens at the board.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets. Bit of a mix showing so far. We do have positivity, as we saw in the pre-market, coming from the tech stocks once again today. So you can see the NASDAQ, both composite and 100, nicely higher here on the day. Everything else not really doing a heck of a lot. The Dow down 0.5%. S&P is red. The Russell is just positive. 0.25% was actually negative at one point. Here in Toronto, TSX dead flat, 0.0000 right across the board for the TSX. BOVESPA higher down in Brazil. If you're joining us from Brazil, a couple of things to watch, guys, from the watch list. We didn't get to this in the pre-market, but this SolarWinds, SWI, part of the government hacking scandal in the U.S., trying to bounce. If you have a look at the daily chart, so this move down was 40%, 2 days in a row back to the upside here for SWI, although we're looking really weak once again. Just broke back below 17 there for SWI. We'll shift over to Fubo. Yeah, I just wanted to show you this. Came all the way down to 52. We're back to 58 now at day highs for Fubo TV. Guys, back over to you.
Oh, I had something for this. And I'm going to go with the gates of hell, Fubo. Now, I talked about the reasons why I did this. This was not a departure from plan. I said if I'm stepping in front of the Fubo train, I was going to use the original like 50, so this 58 level, this pre-market level, and not the high of day for the short. Had I actually given this to the high of day, look, it would have worked, and I would have gotten that great retracement play, maybe a couple of bucks. But at that point, I was looking to short this average price of about 57.40. I'm not trying to risk 250 plus slippage on it. It just didn't feel like it made any sense to me. That's why we'll take the hit. It does roll, and again, I wanted a test of 60. It goes 59. That's why I'm not into that one. So Fubo, you're in the gates of hell because two shorts that were there, but if your entries aren't met, you can't just sit there and break your rules. It's not going to work for you. Peloton trying to make another push here. I did get that dip. I already scalped some out there at 165.75. So that was about just over another $1. Now I'm going to try to hang on. I want 160 in front of 167. See if we can't take $3 on the reload. And then from there, sky's the limit. I don't know where it's going to go. Sean talked about squeeze plays. I just playing the momentum on this. There was an opportunity, a couple of opportunities on this long at 161 that were missed. Hard to do when my initial bias was to short it off at the open, but we have finally flipped our vision. which was a little bit late after bungling this trade here off of 161, but Peloton running out of steam at the top. 164.20 is my stop order. I'd revisit VWAP if it does break.
Yeah, okay. So I'm basically trying to build now a better long. So Palantir again. Where's the flush down? We'll get caught with our pants down again as it does break. Like all I'm doing now is just nibbling. I'm trying to build a position though, and the real position here is going to be. And I said like I don't know if it's going to get back down. Remember I said I don't know if it's going to get to this 2750 level, but I think that that's something that we're willing to try to defend a little bit now. So again, we've stepped on ourselves here a little bit. The damage hasn't been huge, but we have been going long on Palantir today, and Palantir just looks like it wants to go down. So we're going to use this 2750. I'll start building into the largest position that I've had all day on this name. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going to use this 2750 as the bottom. But remember, man, I mean, the market's coming out a little bit right now, and we're just going to build in front of that one and see if we can do that. Apple does come out with a nice little spot there, like just the spot that we talked about, 133.75, so saving us some money. So it's hot dogs for everybody today on Apple. My number one stock, and probably yours if you've been trading this way too. Apple breaks VWAP, breaks that level 132. We punched into this one. All these trades went against us, so you could have had this, and then a 132.50 long. But right now we're long Palantir 98s. Not enough shares, but we'll wait to see. Start building this position off of a 27.50 bottom and then just see. And then I just want to give a big hell yeah to everybody that's been trading Palantir, especially in your longer term accounts, man. We're up. We're in the money. 118 is our price. So right now, a nice little, $50 here for us. A nice little 35% return in a week on Peloton, guys. Congratulations.
Definitely, congratulations for anybody that is following, sort of following and learning anything. If you got some of these trades here, fantastic for you as well. It looks like Peloton might get back to that 64.20. I'm now looking at JG off this $5 area, and this is why I took profit in front of it. It has bounced. It didn't quite get back to like 550 or VWAP for a reload. Again, I kind of would rather it overextend itself and then get back into some more shares, but it's sort of leveling off and gearing up for another run. If 5 holds all morning long, this is probably going to be one of those secondary breakouts, and I'm going to be all out of that short and thinking about getting into the second push. And we're not there yet, certainly a possibility. Back over to Laser. Now, for me, VLDR is going to be the stock that we didn't have the win on, so I'll take the hit on that one. It happens to you. I did like that one for the long break. Laser has now made a bit of a double bottom here with a pre-market level off of this 37, but it's bounced, trying to make a push. If it can hold 38, I think it's going to make a test of that top. Now, 39.50 looks like the top. I'm not going to go long on a breakout at that price because I think 40 is going to be just as good. The first look for me will be if you get any consolidation off 38, maybe it'll be a bit of a push off that price and give it to like 37.60. But I wouldn't long 39.50. I'd wait for 40 even. I think that's a bit of a better look on Laser, guys.
Yeah, I just got into Laser right now. We'll play it off of a 37.30 or so break. So we're long into Laser right now, 38.10. So a nice little buy there. It looks like it's going to crack VWAP on the 3 minute. So we'll take it right now. We have a loser. Our biggest loser is VLDR actually today. So we'll wait to see Velodyne. But we are into Laser right now. I'll probably take a 39 break, but we're already nicely in the money right here. What is this level? 38.50. That's a decent break for me as well. So 38.50. Let's go. We're already long. 25 cents in the money on that one. 25 cents in the money on PLTR, and we averaged in to BFT like we mentioned there at 15. So let's just see if these can all take off here and make our day just a little bit better. What up, Pete?
Another SPAC moving here, guys. Longview acquisition. If you remember this one, we talked about it way back here when they announced they were teaming up with Butterfly, which is an online e-health provider. So they're going to take Butterfly public. So a nice huge run up here, 24%. Just blew through 18 there. Just checking on Longview, guys.
Oh, you know what's hilarious? Like this STIC, I didn't even notice Brendan, just playing with Brendan, but I bought yesterday, guys, $12.50. I bought STIC. You guys know the story. I was talking with my broker, and I was like, why can't I buy this thing? They finally get it into their system, and we were able to buy it yesterday, sub 13. So STIC, like, wow, all the way to 17.49. Of course, this is going to be BarkBox. So bark.com coming with this one. I love this name. I'm going to get more of this. So STIC will be put into the good old account very, very soon, along with a 35-cent winner right now. We're going to celebrate it on Palantir because we made the call. We don't have enough shares, but at the same time, we talked about defending that 27.50 level. So as long as you've kind of like averaged in and not gotten out, you've been okay. But again, you got to trade your own book. And if you have too many shares, you know, you really, really got to use that to your advantage somewhere and figure that out, what your risk tolerance is. So right now we're going to the upside. I'm still thinking it does come back. So we'll get out a little bit now and then see about this 27.50 uno more time.
I'm going to apologize in advance for my Tesla chart here because obviously, yeah, remember that 695 we told you to throw away? You're going to see some block prints or dark pool prints that have gone off up there, which I will just try to ignore those. There's a bit of a bottom here forming, and not 620. Unfortunately, it probably would be long if this was off 620, but it's 635. That 650 area, you know, I'm going to take a shot at it if we come back in, but if we round out here, it could be a bit of a break from 650 into 670, so I like 670 more than 650 on any kind of a push. If Tesla makes a breakout into 50s, I'll probably have it one time in front short, hopefully like a 48 half or a 49 even, something along that price range. It hasn't gotten there yet. I'm not taking the long until you get that 620. Brendan mentioned GameStop. I think a little bit earlier here, so when we brought that story to you, it is still making a bit of a parabolic move to the upside. If you followed the show, you know I'm probably looking at some point to take a short in GameStop. Right now, looking at 1850 to 1860. If it gets any higher, 20 even, I'd be 100% aiming to take that rollover, but it's getting very close. Just here on the daily chart, guys, this 1865 level is the next one I'm looking for. Like we said, if it's a parabolic move, be patient. Allow it to test, allow it to consolidate or roll over before jumping in front of this kind of a freight train, guys. Otherwise, where is it? You can have, I don't know, you can get one of these guys. You can get rejected. Basketball on the mind after that quib at Paul George. Nothing against you, Paul George, but again, I think the Clippers have no shot this year, Brennan.
Vaccine names, guys, very, very weak this morning. We'll start with Moderna here. Big move to the downside, 5%. No additional news on this, but straight southbound, 140 down to 130 for Moderna. I'll flip over and show you Pfizer as well. Even worse, 37. I guess it actually isn't worse, only 1.5%, but 37.50 was tagged there in the pre-market, approaching 36.75 for Pfizer, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about the vaccines and why I don't like them. So hopefully that made some sense to you guys and you stayed away from some of those names. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of any of those. So yeah, we'll wait to see. Palantir, we just took some out at 20. We'll let it keep going to the high side. Hopefully that has more to come. AMD, thanks for the love, guys. We did take some AMD shares there. Someone brought it out to my attention that this thing was starting to move. So we'll average out a little bit here on AMD, out some 68s, long through 60 there. Honestly, you know, with the market doing what it's doing and with the share size position right here, 29.50, 29.22. Yeah, I may only give this one back, maybe even just like, you know, 38, 39, something like that, right where this VWAP is, man. It breaks back above. We did take a quick small win on that, but now we're coming back in on AMD. So watch out for this one. 92.37 here, a decent out. What's up, Brendo?
More news, guys, on this VUZIX. Another day, another move for VUZI. VUZI, the stock we're talking about here, they entered into an agreement with a U.S. general merchandise retailer. They don't say who, but that's what you get. For an initial deployment order of M400 smart glasses, so the same ones we were talking about with Mobileye, that agreement they made with Mobileye last week. They use them for training purposes, especially now with people working remotely. So VUZI up 5.5% again today.
You want to know how crazy C3 AI is? I had 2 orders to go long on a 175 break. One I was crossing to 25 cents, which is reasonable. The other I crossed to 175.75 and did not get filled. So it went almost a full $1 on that break without getting me in. You know, if it's going to give me any kind of a pullback, I might take a shot here. Like here, just got filled in the pullback, 175.25. Let the original order in. I'm not going to leave a 75 order just hanging out on a pullback, but it went to 178 on that 75 break. So obviously, there's no fighting this thing, man. I had the short. It looked pretty good. We got out of that one at VWAP because why would you think it's going any farther? But C3 AI, let's just... It's one of those things where we talked about this relative to Airbnb and DoorDash. that it looked strong, and this is what we're talking about since the open. Wow, what a pullback into 100, but this is what I mean. If it gets to 200, you better believe I'm going to take a shot at it. I don't think it's going to happen today. Probably not. But either way, C3AI, another break to the upside. I am long at 75.25. I will scalp some out probably around here if I can for like $1.50. And then, I don't know, Sky just feels like it's always a limit with this thing.
Shoot, man, we're long everything here, and it looks like AMD is going to eventually break. We did average in a little bit to AMD here. I don't want to give it all the way to the bottom, but yeah, there it goes. So a little bit out there on AMD as we do break down. Look at the market, man. The NASDAQ falling off. AMD was a nice little win there for us, but now coming off. So we'll just hold a little bit of that. I'm more interested right now in a stock that we actually trade a lot better. That is Microsoft. This is a 3-minute chart. I think we can go to a 1-minute chart, but look at the NASDAQ here. Puking down, right? So you got to watch out for some of these longs that we're holding. Palantir, we're almost out of all of that one. You can see a bunch of times here at 2025. We'll wait to see 2750 if that comes in as well. But AMD, yeah, continuing its downward moves here on AMD. Microsoft, that's what I wanted to look at, and I think we can start buying. But again, I mean, it's just so nervous. I was going to try to look at this, 223.60, 223.60. That was sort of these highs right now. But look at it come off right now. 225.60. It's starting to come in. The market's probably going to turn negative right now. But on a turnaround story, I do like Microsoft long on a turnaround here. So let's see if that does happen. But it needs to be 223.62 or so on a turn. But let's try Microsoft. But watch out for this market. It's still going down. Brendo, give it to us.
Solar name strong once again today, guys. SunPower here. First off, SPWR. You can look at CSIQ as well. 9% here for SunPower, just breaking through 30 as we speak. One of their company arms won a patent dispute with another company in China that filed a dispute over it. So breaking through 30 here for SunPower.
And breaking through 5 finally happening on JG. So look, I said if it bounced off 5 even, fantastic. Maybe look for a bit of a long opportunity. That hasn't been the case. Now that we're through, again, if it gets 470, that would have been great. But if it consolidates here at 480 and I can take a 90-cent winner on the last of these shares, I will just get out of it. I can tell you AI came all the way back to 75 before pushing again. I did scalp out the first third of that breakout trade. And it was impossible to get in on the way up. You would have had almost instantly like $2 if you had crossed $1 in. So, but it would have been trouble getting out of it because it whipsawed right back. I'm going to try to hang on to C3AI to see how far it can go. But I got to throw a stop in here around that 174.50 area, maybe just a little bit lower than that, just to make sure it doesn't go backside on me. Because if it was that hard getting in on the break, if it does flush back through, I feel like the bottom could drop out of this one. Liquidity, bit of a concern there. Yeah, I am seeing consolidation here. I'm just going to go ahead and get out of JG. We're going to go with Hammer It. Hammer time. Why not? Haven't used that graphic in a while, but we hammer JG 575. Sometimes it's about getting the entry you like and not the one that's going to look the best in retrospect. And this one certainly could have had it off the top, which I did pre-market, but I much prefer this trade. I just feel like it was safer. Once that kind of sell action comes in off the open, breaking what I thought was support, definitely a little more confidence to have that trade. On JG, we're all out at 480, guys.
Good, yeah, JG, big time volume on that name. We did take a nice little win, some wins anyways, on Softy. I don't know if this market's going to retrace back upside, but we do have Microsoft on. So that's a new position alert. So we'll fire some Microsoft hot dogs out there as well. Palantir does come down, man, and we did exactly what we said we would. We took some more shares down here. It's funny because as it was up here, I was like, you know what? This thing probably goes back to 2750. Should have shorted it, but didn't. We do pick another long up down there. So we're just absorbing some of these trades right now, hoping that they can work out for us to the long side Palantir, to the long side Microsoft. And then we already dropped our AMD. That one seems to be pretty weak, but if it does come back upside, worth maybe another break long, but we're already quite invested into Softy here, Brendan.
Another one with ties to the EV space going as well. If you remember, Nano Dimensions here, NNDM up 10% today. 52-week highs as well, back above $9 here. They're on the 3D printing side of things, also making certain individual components for EV makers, guys.
Nano Dimensions back on that rate. I mean, it's been feel like it's been a little bit, a minute since we've been trading them. I do have to go back to AI. A little bit of concern here, and I did talk about this. Trying to find that top. I am trying to get some out, of course. This spike was all stop orders just breaking it from 75 to 78, and it's been all pullback since. That's why I scalped it off here, 176.50 for some shares, and why I don't want it to travel back below this 174.50 mark. Now, again, this is just the previous pre-market high. If it goes below that, you'll see me trigger out there with an aggressive order to get out. It was a good short. It's been an okay long, which hasn't had the liquidity above the top that I would expect. The fact that this is a bit of a failed break and all the action was to the upside, if it doesn't go here, I'd probably be thinking about some shorts on AI. I'm not quite there yet. I want to quickly jump back, if I can, to Airbnb, which is a totally different story. 175 once, turn around. Now we're below VWAP. It's trying to break back above this 170 mark. If AI dips to the downside and stops me out, I'm kind of thinking I can go over in sympathy short Airbnb, which was already weak, off of this 170 and VWAP. I'm not there yet because I'm still holding AI, which just got back above 175. So if it catches a bid, I'm not going to bother shorting Airbnb.
So here's a 1 minute chart here, and yeah, Microsoft, a nice little long at 66. It's up in the 90s right now. So we just continue to get some out if we can on Softy and just enjoy that to the high side. So yeah, we're bringing back to life a little bit there. Palantir taking some off. I mean, why didn't it go past 85 there? Don't know. So now we're going to look to see if we can't take maybe even a little bit more out here. Some 78s we just took. So yeah, more to come on that one. And then yeah, we did. Yes, sir. Microsoft again, guys. So there it is. We'll backflip it off. Like, I don't even know why we go over to AMD there to lose this money when we just slide over to Microsoft and then destroy that one. So now we're hovering right around VWAP and just getting out, man. What a big trade that was for me. Most capital invested there on the day was Microsoft, because it's a $224 name. That's why that happened. But here it goes. And then, of course, we looked at getting more AMD long, and we didn't because we had Softy. But that was a good one. Bad drop off there, but AMD, we didn't do too good on that call, but we're watching it go back to the high side. But honestly, I'm just enamored right now with Microsoft. That's a couple days in a row that we've absolutely destroyed this stock, so we'll keep going back to this guy.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, how am I sitting here talking about GameStop and not making sure that we got the locates on there? Thankfully, it's not that hard of a process, so I'm literally doing it off my other screen here just to see if we can get a quick little price. It did make that fall. Now, I wanted GameStop to make a move off of an even level or like a 20, but 1860 was that other level on the daily chart. You do see it roll over. If I don't catch it on the way down, which I didn't have the locate, so that's pie in my face, and it should be. We get another shot at it right here, and it's only 1.5 cents a share, so that's a reasonable price. An $18 name. It could, VWAP is like a dollar plus away from here, so that's a reasonable price. I'm going to jump in front of that 1860 level now to see if we can start building something in front of the current high. If it breaks that, $20 would be the next level. Brendan is at the big screen. It is already time for our small cap recap. Let's go to him.
Hey guys, yeah, it is that time. Let's talk about small caps. There were a number of them moving around in the pre-market this morning. We mentioned this one. If you joined us in the pre-market, HUSN, it was up significantly more than this. Just watching this $4 level that ended up being a little bit of a pivot support initially. Once broken, turned into resistance. So it doesn't get much easier than this to the downside. $4, very obvious level. Tested it twice and failed twice. The bottom down here, $3.30. So $4 down to $3.30. Take what you wish along the way. Let's go over to AMTX. Neil mentioned this briefly. I was kind of watching this 4 level. There was EV news on this one. That kind of got me away from it, but any kind of test of 4 would have gotten me involved, but that never happened. We're all the way down here to 3 now. Dollar straight southbound for AMTX, still up on the day. JG, yeah, $6 here. There was $6.30 and then $6.50. So that little pivot ended up being $6, even all the way down to $4.80 even now. Just made a new low on the day. So JG, another one that was pretty easy and self-explanatory to the downside today in small cap world. Back over to Sean.
We're hydrating up right now. Good job on that. Valeria brought that to me earlier. Okay, so Microsoft all the way back. This is why we got out, man. We're holding that 20% left. You can add it all up here. Each one of these is 10% out. That's what we do. And again, we have direct market access, right? So I can just easily get in and out. We don't pay fees on any of this stuff. So it's a pretty easy way to scalp back and forth. So again, notice that we got, I mean, this is right near VWAP, man. We got out at 224 for the majority of the shares, then 224.05. Like VWAP's right here at 12. And my next order was actually at 10 to get some out. So I still like it, but watch out NASDAQ. I mean, it's right back down here again. We could rinse and repeat the exact same trade. I don't actually mind doing that right here on Microsoft. We are right at those levels, so I think we can actually get a little more long here. Palantir does come back as well, but that name, again, you know, we've just been getting it out as we spike up. We didn't go up to 28.20, but just cashing these out. We still are very weary of this 27.50 level, but there it is. Microsoft bounces exactly off 60, so I think it's worth taking the shot again, Brendo.
Another one to look at here, guys. Just double checking to make sure there's nothing. Nothing has been released on NEO. I want to talk about NEO here. Just saw a note that said that even NEO, guys, is talking about autonomous vehicles now and are working towards possibly building their own technology on the autonomous side for NIO as well.
Yeah, next thing you know, it'll be C3 AI. Like everyone, it just seems like we're gonna get headlines like this across the board here. Good look for NEO. I did get some shares out of C3 AI, and I'm gonna go with. This one is not labeled properly on my board, but I knew it was cash, and we're going to try to catch it here on C3. It just attempted to break through 178. I got out some of my shares in front of that price. We talked about the dip, of course, not getting the break at 175 because it went all the way like $1 instantly, but I did get 75.25. I got some out here for $1.20. I just got some out for a $2 winner. Gonna hang on for the rest. I don't know where the top is. Certainly if it makes a push to 180 and turns around, I'd probably get out there. At some point, I'm going to try shorting this. But when I notice, like, if you had to cross $1 to get out, to guarantee that you could get out of this trade on C3 AI on a short, if you had that 175, you got to be very wary of getting into a new one if it tests 180, but I'll probably try if it tries to roll over. First shot is a swing and a miss at GameStop, but much like Sundial yesterday, trust me, I'm not done with that one. Brendan, what's up?
If we rewind back to the pre-market, Sean said make sure you're watching not only Peloton, but this one as well. NLS, straight upside here, $20 ended up being support. We're at 21.75, coming up to this kind of pivot here on the daily chart, guys. So almost 22 now for NLS.
I mean, when we covered Peloton, I mean, I actually switched over to NLS to talk about that. So good look on that one. 23, we don't have the shares, but glad to bring that to you guys' attention. NLS, let's have a quick look at it. And again, I talked about it being in Bowflex, Nautilus. So a nice little move to the high side there. I mean, we're enjoying Peloton, but look at this move, man. Did we give this to you? $20. I don't think I would have held for this long. Probably would have got out on some of this 21 consolidation, but wow, what a move up for NLS, man. Anybody enjoying that one? Good. We just broke that 50 period. This could break higher, man. 22.90 there. Find out when earnings is for NLS because this one could go again, guys. I think we could actually retest the highs. I don't know if this is option eligible. With it should be over 1 million shares, but this name could go now that we've broken above this. So watch out here, man. 22.20 breaking on NLS. I like this for a longer term play. I think we can, in a blink of an eye, get to 26.27 again.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we definitely went over this one breaking out this morning, and said to you guys, if you felt like Peloton was a little too expensive for you, go to something which has not broken, which is more established, which has a bigger product line. When the barriers to entry into this business really aren't gigantic for the players already there. When it comes to subscription, at least, I mean. You know, probably go with a little bit of a safer name, and there's plenty of room here in Nautilus. It even might give you a bit of a pull. Now, I'm not gonna, like, just because it's a day trade here, if it gets to the top end of this range at 23, you're probably gonna see me take a shot at it the same way I would look at like something like a GameStop where it's you're shorting off of a level here, and just the fact that profit taking is a thing and might start to come into play. So if I dip into a short, it has nothing to do with a fundamental play. It would just simply be a day trade in front of 23 even, and that's the top end of that range. Speaking of GameStop, talk about and show you guys the winners and the losers here. Yep, I stepped in front, tried to catch a couple of shares off the rollover. It broke the high. I'm out. I'm now looking for the next level up. Maybe it's 19. Maybe it's 20. I have no idea where it's going to be that turn. I have no idea where C3 AI is going to go. But this one is approaching, again, a key level. If it breaks through this 178, is going to be hang on for dear life to the long at 175.25. I would probably move my stop at that point to a 176, not by much, but just to lock in some profitability. Brendan, what's up?
Some of the clean energy names, I threw that date up on the screen there, guys. February 22nd earnings. Next for Nautilus, some of the clean energy names catching a bit of a bid here. OPTT, 8% to the upside today. Volume coming in as we speak here. I'll flip over as well to Westwater Resources, bit of a tongue twister, but 560 just getting taken out here. Look at the volume as well for WWR, guys.
Okay, yeah, I see a lot of talk, obviously, about Sundial. Yeah, I mean, their cash flow positive story was yesterday. So you guys can, I mean, look at this today. Over 78 million shares. So, I mean, if you're looking to break out, it looks like it may be doing that right now through 50 cents. So not a bad look here for Sundial if you did want this one through that 50-cent level. It's coming up right now. Okay, Microsoft, another one, man. We did it again. So we're going to fire off more hot dogs for everybody. I mean, this is just, unfortunately, I got to get rid of that. These are the buys and then these are the outs, man. This is how we scalp through. And this is Microsoft right now. Stick with something that's been strong and that we believe in. So yeah, Microsoft making the moves now. We'll watch though, because NASDAQ could crack. We're almost out again. We don't have very many shares. We have about half of our second reload. So I just think that if the market does go, we do break this, and then we maybe can get some out up here, 224.60 or so, but still needs work on that one. So 25 cents in the money there, 25 cents in the money on this last Palantir reload, and a couple of reloads down here that have worked. In here and out, and then in here again and out. So now, I don't know. We'll wait. We'll see if we can retest view up. I don't want to dump some of these things because I look back, just like yesterday when we were long Peloton, like 142. I look back, it's 148. Various names like that yesterday on the board that we had that I dropped a little too early, and looking back was like, what the heck? So we'll see if Palantir can get back to 28.50. That's a little bit of a call on that one. So we'll wait on that. And then AMD, man, I mean, I've dumped most of these shares, but do we go long down here, 91.90? Let's find out. That's the bottom of the day.
Yeah, and the current bottom, it's not really the bottom, but the pullback on Peloton, and I got some shares here at 165.77. It got as high as 166.25, but it just bounced off 162 and VWAP. The first look for me was a short, and of course that was probably the better trade off of the 160. It got you all the way to this bottom at 155.50. If we roll past this 62, I'm likely going to take a shot at it, but just watch out. There was a pullback into 161 as well. So it might be almost a safer trade to go 161 short with a 162 stop. For now, it looks like it's trying to grind and consolidate off this level. If it makes another push at the high of day, I'd probably be looking to fade it first before rolling into a long. C3 AI is pulling back in. I put a trail in. If it breaks that 76, I'll just get out of it. It's whipping around too much. I don't want to get caught if it pulls back because the bottom could really drop out. The bid isn't what you would expect for a stock that is screaming. Brendan, what's up?
One of the insurance names starting to go here. We'll shift over to Root. We mentioned this one yesterday, if you remember. This thing went from $13.50 up to $16.50 yesterday. We're all the way up to $19.75 here. Another 20%, better part of 20% for Roots. Similar to Lemonade, guys, ROOT.
ROOT. Okay, we'll look at Rudy. I'm still waiting for, okay, come on, Microsoft. We're right back up. We got to get some orders out now because we are close to that VWAP there, which we like to get in and out of there. So we'll put an offer there at 05 and see what happens on that one. Palantir still 21 cents in the money. BFT, man, I mean, it's not doing anything. It does. We did take this average in. We go right back to very much, well, actually, that was a 40. What's my average price? I can just find it right now. 20s. So we did get close to getting back into the money, but it looks like if this breaks 14.90, which is down here, you can see there was some size there. Let's just quickly look. Not really. If it does break through 14.90, we'll get out. I mean, it's just been the resistance downside there. A good little base developing, and we'll find out. Yes, sir. As Microsoft now, we could tweet this one out if we wanted to, but we are definitely slaying Mr. Softy every day. It seems like we hit this and we hit this pretty good. So there it is, man. Nice little upside. 70 cents now in the money on Microsoft to go with our 50 cents in the money on Palantir, and the market trying to rally, man. Palantir just right there, man. We said we can get up to 28.50, but I'm noticing these spots here. Let's put an offer at least here at 28.20, and then we'll see if we can't crack this 28.30 level. So Palantir had a nice little run up. We'll get some out 28.15-ish if we can.
It just took a new top in C3 AI, 179. So it didn't quite break into that 179 to 180 range to see if it rolled over at that price, and I could have maybe taken it off. But we're getting rather close to it. Again, at this point, I almost feel like I shouldn't even have an offer in front of 180. I have Lemonade up here. if Brendan's going to mention insurance, I'm going to go over to Lemonade. This is a stock that I actually personally like. And look, we talked about this one. I don't know that you're buying it up here. It is what it is. I think even if it got back to 90, I liked it much better when it was 50, 60. Obviously, that's a double up at this point. But for a day trading standpoint, look at this previous high at 111.75. If we get anywhere near this and catch a bit of a rollover, this could put a bit of a gap fill back into like a 105, 106 area. So, all things can't go up all for forever here on Lemonade as much as you might think it will. 111, 112, that area if it comes back in. Maybe there's today, tomorrow, I don't know. But I am looking for a bit of a pullback in that trade. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Just checking on this checkpoint, one from the volume list today, relative volume 7%. You can see why. Huge volume spike happened just after the open there. Hasn't really done much since, but checkpoint therapeutics there. About an hour to go over in Europe. Let's check in with Valeria and see what's happening over in Europe.
Hey, Brendan, European shares are back to positive territory with help of the US stimulus package. British supermarket stocks are under pressure as the global travel bans could lead to gaps on the shelves. Back to you.
Yeah, I was reading that the UK is making some concessions when it comes to some things in the Brexit deal to try and get a deal done very, very last minute. But some positivity finally over in the UK and Europe, guys.
Good to hear, as per usual there. I mean, look, the world needs more positivity, that's for sure. Okay, there it is, man. 13's out. So, yeah, banger there on Palantir finally. A couple good ones here. Buying bottoms in both Softy and PLTR, making that money. We did tweet those out as well. I just put another offer right now at 09, so if we can get picked up there, that's fantastic. Hey, there it is. So we get rebates for that. So I'm sitting on the NASDAQ gateway. It's $2 per 1,000 shares. So a good little out there for sure on that one. And oh yeah, NEO. I like a 48.60 break. I don't know. It's just right here. I mean, we could get going. We could also think about defending some of these bottoms on NIO as it goes. Let's go back to a 3-minute chart as it's getting late. It's not getting late. 10:30 here, but NEO, yeah, downward moves today, man. We've actually been okay on it. We've been able to make money. One of my top stocks, NEO, because of this hero play there. We stepped in front of this stored, dropping down and just defended it. So right now, but here we go right back to the upside. 48.60. I guess we should have stepped in. Low side here, 48.20. Maybe some time to pick it up. Look at the market. Beautiful dollar winner now on Softy. So the money just keeps falling in here for Microsoft owners. And then it's 50 cents now for Palantir. So a couple of good trades happening on this side.
Yeah, absolutely. And the AI is still in the money, but I'm stepping in front of this the GameStop train again. So the first time obviously didn't work. I just stopped here. Now it didn't get to 20 even, so that's why I don't have this rollover. I wasn't really eyeballing 1950 to be honest with you. Maybe I should have, and that sort of sticks out when you have this 1983 area. That if it puts in a lower high, 50s would have been an idea. 20 was what I was wanting, so 20 did not happen. Now it's consolidating in front of 19. I got 82 as an average price, but because I'm so far away from the high, I'm not going to give this one too much room here. Now, if it pulls back into 50s, I'll definitely take some profits for 25 to 30 cents and then hang on to the rest for an 18 area. That's all because my stop is going to be around that 19. I got to be a tighter stop because it's already had a pullback that I missed. So it is what it is. I don't want to fight it too hard. No need to fight Sundial here. This stock has gotten very, very sleepy. I kind of thought below 52 would be a fantastic one. Instead, it's been an okay trade. I did get bottom for some of my shares down at 48. 51 is my price. It has to be above VWAP for me to get out of it. So there was an order at 50 for some size, but size doesn't really matter when it comes to Sundial. When it has 83 million shares, and you look at these offers, none of those are going to stand in the way if it wants to break to the upside. My price is 51.5, so even if it breaks 51, it'll still be a profitable trade for me. If it tries to roll over without getting to 51, maybe a place to add to it with the same stop. So I'm still looking for an opportunity. It gets consolidation below VWAP, add to it, see if it can't retest 48. Just got trailed out of C3 AI. So, oh, whoops, I hit the wrong one. That's a bit of an old one there. A little gladiator action we have there. But anyways, the money did come through. It's, for now, my number one stock of the day, but I really thought there was a chance to push 180 and then go even higher. That breakout was very, very tricky, guys. And that level of liquidity has me very cautious about any short trade that I put on C3 AI because you had to cross $1 to get out. And then even then, I'm not sure what the liquidity would have been because I crossed 75 cents and didn't get filled in my long, guys.
Okay, NEO looks like it's going to break possibly right now through 60. So that's a target that we have on NEO. So we'll wait to see if that does come in. I mean, the out basically 48.40, something like that down here because of the shares. If it does drop, we are going to try to pick up some more down here. But I want to try to make something happen. So if NEO can go, we will take a position similar to what we did here and then only give it back to like about here, just because again of the amount of risk that we're willing to put on now. So 48.60, I think it's a good spot, especially with some of those news, some of that news that Brendan was talking about there. I mentioned to Brendan about Workhorse, now up 10%. Maybe this is what this is. What's up, Beep?
I was just going to mention, guys, there was a couple of analyst moves on Peloton. If you need more reason to like this, 12, almost 13% here. Both Goldman Sachs and KeyCorp Bank raising their price targets on Peloton today. Goldman 162. KeyCorp, guys, talking about $180 on this stock. Why not?
Hey man, we raised price target on Peloton all the way back here. So thank you for joining the club, Goldman, on that one. You guys know that we're long in our swing account right here on this break of 118. So I've been talking up Peloton as we go, guys. I mean, it's just going to get more and more. I mean, 180 is happening. So get ready for Peloton to break through that one. That's probably going to be coming. I don't have calls. I wish I did. They would be monstrous. But we are long the equity down here, and no plans at all of getting out of Peloton. This thing, I mean, who knows how high this could go. They could even be a buyout target as well. Like, I have no idea what Peloton, how high that can go. It's just a sweet, sweet movement to the high side there. NEO as well, 48.60. More to come on what I think about Peloton after. 48.60, we are going to be doing a video there on it. 48.60, we did go long now on NEO, and I'm only going to give it a little bit of love back down here to 48.40 or so, but you know about that one. Brent again.
Another one with the Clean Energy Group just popping up here. CBAT, which is that CBAK Energy, just broke through 650 there on a volume spike. This thing went nuts yesterday afternoon from $5 up to $6.20 on reports of much higher than usual call buying in this stock. So this was late in the day yesterday. So taking out that high again today for CBAT.
Speaking of trying to taking out highs, not quite doing it yet, but bouncing off you up a second time is that Peloton. Trying to get back to this 165 area. I said if we get to that high, I would take a shot at it in front. For a short, of course, we've had multiple trades here, 3 actually, when it comes to a short, and then a couple of longs. First we bungled, second one was okay. But I'm looking for a short off of 166.25 if it breaks the high. Certainly, I think that's a great afternoon breakout trade. If we can hold this throughout lunchtime, I'm going to be looking to short off the high of day. I've taken 2 swings at GameStop, and so far come up empty. But I'm a baseball guy, and in baseball you get like 4 at-bats in a game. So I'm probably willing to take at least that many. It's still actually consolidating here, but I told you why I wanted a bit of a tighter stop. But that's me basically making a bit of a top wick. I think I have to give a little bit more room. I'm going to try to get almost the same price here, but I want to see it break 1880 at least a little bit, and then test the bottom before I jump into some more shares. It's kind of consolidating a ways away from VWAP here, and there's just so much room to run in either direction that I feel like next time I got to give it more room, which means I should be willing to have not the perfect price because it's still $1.50 that I think we can tap if it breaks to the downside, guys. And if we have a 30-cent stop versus a 20-cent stop, that shouldn't matter too much. Time for Sector Watch. Let's go to Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500, see what is happening so far today. Really not much, 0.06% to the upside. There are some individual names showing strength, but a lot of red across this board as well. Industrials, financials, all the way over to the communications group to the downside. Your daily Tesla update here, 2.38% to the downside, leading, in fact, the automotives group there in the consumer durables sector. To the downside, CarMax as well. They reported 6.3% to the downside. There's Etsy having a nice day, 3.6%. BBY, TSCO, and DLTR also among the leaders when it comes to the retailers. Some of the cruise lines, actually all of the cruise lines, I take that back, very negative, 4.6% for Norwegian. Both Royal Caribbean and Carnival also following suit, 3+% for both of those. Some hotels here as well in negative territory, leading the services group to the downside. Tech shares are higher. We showed that back at 10 o'clock, if you remember. NASDAQ was leading. There's Apple, 3.9%. Right beside it, NTAP, 2.2%. Payc over here, 3.2%. CDNS below that, 1.6%. So tech shares are higher. That's pretty much it. Everything else to the downside. Healthcare stocks are lower, even with ILMN, EW, and ISRG. Everything else you can see pretty red here. Amgen, Gilead, AbbVie. When the big ones are down, that means the group is typically down. 2.5%, 2%, and 1.4% there for AbbVie. Pfizer right below it. There's Biogen, Eli Lilly. So all the big ones in the healthcare group in negative territory today, leading the way to the downside. Banks are actually higher, but only just. You can see Goldman, BK, and SPGI leading the way to the downside, but everything else pretty solidly higher. Consumer staples, another one, basically flat on the session. That usually means that the market overall is flat as well. 0.03% for the S&P, guys. Back over to you.
Just having a quick look at Lemonade. I was going to look, I talked about waiting for about a 112 level, and then went to the lower time frame and kind of like this 113. Now, it broke it, but the spread opened up. No offers below that price. So the bid came down to like 70s or 80s, but essentially no one was selling lower than that. So I don't like stops that trigger in that direction. So when I anticipate that it has that kind of a spread, I'll usually try to sit on the offer if it pops back up and get a better price and a bit of a safer entry. So that's likely to be in around like 113.50 or so on that little pullback if we can get it. Give it around to this 115 area on Lemonade. Like I said, I like it. I just feel like at some point it's going to pull back. And when you get that kind of sell-off, like a deeper sell-off and then a below VWAP look, sometimes you get that afternoon play where you're kind of hanging on to it through the low of the day and maybe deeper pushes than that. And then you have an obvious out which you can play off of. So that's the idea here with Lemonade. I'm going to quickly, if I can, jump back over to, and I'll get to GameStop in a second. It didn't break down. It's starting to head back towards that top, so I might get a look at that 20 in fact, after all. But C3AI, yeah, it's done it here. I mean, I got trail out. It's going to happen. I talked about the caution that I have with this because of the lack of liquidity at some of these levels. Looks like 180 could be back in play. Never even pull back into VWAP. I'm kind of regretting not putting a bit of a bigger trail on this and been willing to lose money on my last long. I wasn't. So that's what's going to happen. I'll be out of it. If it pulls back to VWAP, we'll look at 172, but 180 could still come into play here. Brendan?
Nothing significant. Sean was wondering about Workhorse. So nothing significant as far as news specifically for Workhorse. A couple of analysts still talking about the U.S. Postal Service deal and that Workhorse is worth it, whether or not they get the contract. The Apple effect as well. We showed that Ride earlier. So Workhorse, yeah, 9%, almost 10 now. Ride as well at 10%. So kind of a group thing, it looks like, for the EV makers, guys.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So thanks for checking on that on Workhorse. And look, man, I mean, I'm digging into NEO here, and I don't know why. I just don't keep trading Microsoft. We have some beautiful bottoms there, 223.64 and change, and now we're looking to see this top side move right now up to 224.80. A nice little $1.20 now in the money for softies. So good trade. But we only have 10% on, so you can see out here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, all the way out. And where do we get out of this one? I don't know. I mean, the NASDAQ's now coming back in, which is screwing us up here for our NEO position. I'm trying to use the bottom of the day, and it looks like we may get squeezed out here on the bottom of the day. So let's just wait to see. We've averaged in. Our average price is 47. So yeah, right now it's 25-cent hit. It doesn't seem like it's a lot, but you know, we don't have as many shares, obviously, on this softy position as we do on that NEO. So I'm just, you know, we're working it out. I think it should be okay, but we are very weary that the stock is heading to the downside now. And the trend on this one, for sure, I mean, look at this. It's straight to the downside. Even on a 3-minute chart, there's not a hell of a lot of love here. So we thought we got a breakout right there. Now let's give it some love back to the upside there. Average price, 47. So it's not so much in trouble. Maybe I'll get some out if we get back into the 40s just to absorb some of this, but that's that. And then here we go as well. Palantir. Good outs, right where we sort of said we would get out on this high. So watching Palantir see how much more love this name has to the upside. But really the whole day, not the whole day, but a big part of the day right now invested into this NEO long. So let's see if it works out. It may not.
Yeah, and that's certainly the risk. And like I said, I'm 0 for 2 on GameStop. It is breaking towards $20. So here comes that big 2-0. Now, one of the things that I sort of adjusted my approach is I'd rather take multiple swings and then have like tighter stops. And then eventually, if you get that $1.50, you're going to be up, as opposed to getting blown out the first time trying to hit the home run. It got to like 74. I would have liked it to maybe test that higher than that quarter. But if this is going to be the turn, we're going to take our shot off 20. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
I have an update, guys, on the watch list. Going to throw it up on screen there. At the bottom, you will see an address. It's noreply@gmail.tradertv.live. If you are still experiencing delays with the watch list, add that address, noreply@mail.tradertv.live, to your safe sender list, and apparently that will fix the issue with this email being blocked. It's a Microsoft thing. We have learned. So thank you to our great IT team here for figuring that out. A better fix is in the works, but for the time being, if you add that list to your safe sender, or add that address to your safe sender list, you should be good, guys.
Good update. Yeah, we'll take that, guys. Do that for sure. And you will be part of the watch list, hopefully, moving forward. If you still have problems, obviously, let us know, but there's nothing we can do. Thank you to, like you just said there, Brendan, thanks to the IT team for investigating that, because we're paying, obviously, to distribute this list, which is free for you guys. So definitely check that out here. Palantir having problems as well to the upside there. It's just suffering where it was before, sticking out there. And then here goes Neo, man. It goes all the way to the bottom. We don't get out, but the bottom is about to break. So we got to watch out for this on Neo. 48 coming pretty fast and furious right now. I may just change my stop to about 48, but we still do have it at 48.10 there on that bottom of the day. Let's see if it gets going now back to the upside, guys.
And here is attempt number 3 when it comes to GameStop. And again, I like that 20 level, but I'm going to give it to the actual high. Maybe let it break by a couple of pennies, because if it breaks this high, like 74 is here, and then makes it turn into 20 even, I almost want to catch that roll over, and I want to have the entirety of the short. But you can see I actually have a few more shares than I had at the worst price. If it turns, at any point, if it turns, you're still looking at almost $1.50 to VWAP. I definitely would take some out in front of 19. That goes without saying. I would certainly scalp some of that trade. I'll take you back to Lemonade for a second. I mean, it's only in the money about based on the spread, 50 cents, but $1 in total if you look at the bid. Again, it's just, no one is offering below this 113 mark right now. So it kind of slips in the money for me, but just has no continuation just yet. If it does, I'll go back over to that. I still think it can get down to that 110, 111 area on a pullback in Lemonade. GameStop, however, that's the position that I'm going to be concerned with the most. Sundial still about that 50-cent mark. I did add to that position. I'd add one more time. I've mentioned if it breaks that 51, I'll just get out of it. But otherwise, still hanging on to that short, still in the money. It can't be a loser.
Microsoft, yeah, good trade. Some of these names definitely trading quite nicely today, that is for sure. We're going to look to see about getting out of Microsoft, though, as the market is coming down. We're going to get out. There we go. We did get out of our Neo. So flush ourselves down. Well, here we go. Just the pants down is right there as it's breaking lower, lower, lower. Will we stop at 48? I do not. I mean, for this one, I mean, we talked about 47.60, 47.80 possibly right here as some spots. But look at the market, man, starting to puke down. So we'll watch out, get out of our Microsoft there and just watch out, because right now it looks like the market definitely coming off a little bit here. We could maybe get some long off Neo here on this market dip, but I mean, this is a 3-minute chart. Like, I don't really, I mean, this maybe 47.78, maybe something to look at. But other than that, right now, the market puking downside, and so is Neo. So our last attempt at a long there does break the low of the day, and if you don't have discipline, you're going to get run over. So we definitely get out of some Neo there, and it just looks like it wants to puke, man. I mean, look at the NASDAQ, about to turn red right here, probably the first time on the day. I don't know if it was red down here, but we might turn it right now. The NASDAQ looking to go red. If it can get back above like 1270 here, 12694, 126,700, maybe we have something, but right now, play the momentum to the downside, guys.
I'm going to finally hit this key. I haven't done it today. I wasn't saving it for this one, but Lemonade finally starts to roll over. 112 first out we'll have, and again, you get this pre-market bottom. You're not pre-market, sorry, opening range bottom. I'll take $1.50 off and then see if we can't get that push through that low. Low of the day is 110. If it bounces off there, I would get out. If I can, I'd try to hold through. But either way, lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink, also of the stock for the short for now. Brendan is at the big screen. It is time already for Money Talks.
Hey guys, yeah, let's go to Currency World. We'll have a look at what is happening so far today. Pretty red at the top end of the board here. A combination of U.S. dollar strength coming back into play once again today. There's also continued Brexit discussions, we'll call it for now, until a deal is done. We mentioned that they were getting close yesterday. We saw a big run up in the afternoon for the pound. Actually got to recent highs yesterday, but coming off of that today, down 0.9%, 133.5 once again for the British pound. Canadian dollar down 0.5% once again, 77 and change. We have the euro negative as well, 0.4%. Same story at the bottom end here. Australia and New Zealand both in negative territory. Both Japanese yen, Swiss franc higher again today. A little bit of volatility coming back into play for the overall market. Turkish lira down 0.25% as well, 7.63. Somebody asked if I could, we talked about Ripple earlier on this morning. Somebody asked if I could add Ripple to this board. You ask and you shall receive. Down 11% today on that SEC news we were talking about. Bottom end of the corner of the chart here is 45 cents. So big move down, 11% for Ripple today, both Ethereum and Bitcoin. Positive on the other hand. Guys, back over to you.
Die GameStop. No, I'm kidding. GameStop trying to come to the downside, but I was just sort of looking up, and again, I have a monitor over here so I can see what's going on. Even though I'm not sitting next to Sean, I can see the positions. I want to show you guys this chart, and look, ultimately, this is NEO on a 15-minute. Look at this consolidation on the way up around 47.50 to 48. Look at the previous day high, 47.60. If this one bounces off of that, this is like going to be one of those sort of hero plays. I don't know. I don't want to jinx anything, and apologies if I jinx. Maybe I'm bad luck, Sean. Either way, I kind of like that look. If it bounces off of that level, you're probably retesting 50. It just feels like a fantastic opportunity to catch a bit of a pullback trade, which since we've been doing this show, I feel like pullbacks on NEO have garnered bigger wins than breakout trades. GameStop, I did say die, the GameStop die. Look, and again, that was probably uncouth of me to say there, but it does finally roll over. This was attempt number 3. So if you go 1 for 3 in baseball, you can go to the Hall of Fame, but either way, you had to have type stops with this. I was missing out on the real turns because it didn't come at the prices I wanted. I was shorting consolidation. There's 3,000. There you go, Mr. 3,000. A little bit of a baseball reference. You go to the Hall of Fame for that too if you get 3,000 hits. But GameStop, halfway there. 19 even. I just scalped some out there for 25 cents and then scalped some more out for a 45-cent win. I want $1 at some point on this. The next 2/3 of this position I'm reserving for in and around 18.75 to 90, and then hopefully down around that 18 to 18.25 range. I'm not reloading after it's done this. Had it given me a longer consolidation or a tighter bounce, maybe I would have done so. But GameStop finally starting to come back in. This is why you take small paper cuts on those stops so that you can get the bigger win here and still be profitable. If I gave any of these too far, I would, I have no shot at making it all back. Certainly it's position dependent because I'm still holding 2/3 of the short position, so I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth, which I guess I've already done by talking it up before I've turned green on it. Oops.
Yeah, that is pretty much the definition, I guess, of doing that.
Oh, I'm
but
screwed now.
You know what? It'll be fine. Congratulations.
No.
Oh, we just got a super chat there. I wanted to bring it up to Al Griffin. There we go, Al Griffin. Thank you for the $2, and you are welcome. I did not hold on for the VLDR win, but we did bring it to you, and that was off of our watch list, and you're the one that made the trade there, my friend, so congratulations. VLDR right now, big time move to the upside there. Look at my buys, like right here, 28, and then again at 27.20. We're able to take a small win, but nothing huge there. But look at this, guys. Now we go right back, man. Good trade, so we'll finally spin a little bit of money through on NEO. We've been red on the stock, but now we battle back, man, and now we're making that money back. Like, why didn't you happen in the first place there, NEO? We wouldn't have had to worry about getting out there at the very bottom. Well, not the very bottom, but close enough. Almost the very bottom there, but we did reload that on that fail break. So nice to take some profits in the 40s there, guys. Nice little win. The pins lined up for us finally there on NEO. We took it out and hit a couple home runs there, guys.
That's what I'm talking about. N to the I to the O. It pains me to look at that VLDR chart. You can see that I took a hit on it. Yeah, it actually just popped up right there. So it was one of my negative names. You can add FUBO to that list. And again, like I said, I probably just jinxed myself over on GameStop. So all I'm going to say with Lemonade is, with any luck, this will turn out not to be a losing trade. I would have to royally mess this one up for that to be true. It is grinding very, very slowly down to 110. Now, I was going to hope to see if it could break through, but the lack of velocity on this break and some of the liquidity concerns on it, and then the next look would, of course, be just to look at this. This is yesterday at the close, and this is a consolidation of the pre-market. I just feel like there's a decent chance it bounces off 10 even. So if I can take out $3 on this trade, I'm just going to go ahead and do it, not look the old gift horse in the mouth, and take the winner if we can on the rest of these shares. GameStop is trying to break 19 even. Please, pretty please, break this 19 even so I don't look like a fool on YouTube. For celebrating too early. It does, like, at the time that this was coming down, it just felt like the bottom had dropped out. I was going to get everything I wanted all the way down to 18 to 18.25. Now it's consolidating higher, looking like it wants to press to the top. I'm not giving it to the high of day. Now I will give it back into my sort of range that I got into it, which means I won't lose on this trade, but I would still be down in the stock because I lost on the first two guys.
Wow, right now, guys. I mean, thank you for joining. It's been a good day, and damn it, Neo, like I said, this was one of our biggest positions we had, and then we dumped like 75% of it there, and then got another piece. So it's fine. We made money. I think we made back almost what we lost there. But still, look at that out, 658. Wow. But still, left some money on the table there for Neo. Got to hold a little bit longer, man. I mean, and if we can just look, maybe I have to have a little bit less shares here. Remember, Neo, myself, Brendan, we all trade with drastically different share sizes. So you got to trade your own book. I mean, that's the one thing that we keep talking about. And unfortunately, this was just enough pain to get me out. But damn it, we should have given a little more pain. But again, you know what? Like, that's how you turn, like, losing days into horrendously awful days by holding on to things. And honestly, like, the way I trade, you got to sort of scalp in and out there. And yeah, good trade for Neo. Glad to make it back, but we did dump it off a little bit too early, maybe there, giving it to this area. Just trying to get better, right, for next time. STIC, we did put that in our portfolio last night. Finally got through. I was trying to buy 1250s from my broker, and then eventually, like I said, we got it yesterday. I think it was 1273 or something. So a nice little move on STIC. Brendan, you said it was news pending on that name, or information request is sort of, I think, what happened there. But remember, this is bark.com. So this is going to turn in. I do want to get more shares. We will find another level here. I'm relatively light invested into this one, not like BFT or anything. That's bigger, so we got to watch out for that one. Here goes Neo again, back through 50. So this trade just keeps on happening. Let's see if we get to VWAP 48.80, but a nice little 50-cent win here and a nice little 40-cent win for Palantir still, guys.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is, when you talk about, Varun was on earlier talking about the holiday trade and sort of making a guess at when the volume is going to come in and volatility and picking his spots. You're going to see, look, Sean, Neo, Palantir, Microsoft, right? I'm over here shorting top, GameStop, over back at Sundial. This is when, if you're still trading, you're not throwing away the profit that you had this morning, if you have any. This is when you sort of pick your spots, do what you're best at. Do not needlessly throw capital away chasing trades at this time of day. Just go back to what works for you and makes the most sense. The only exception to that for me was Lemonade. And again, it was the second Brendan put it on my radar. I just felt like this one is overextended, and a pullback and a correction was sort of overdue for Lemonade. It seems like that was going to be it. It gave the consolidation off VWAP, and it was just a trade that I liked, so I had to have on, even if it's going to be risking a little bit less than GameStop, which, much to my chagrin, is still bouncing off of this 19 even area. So it's in the money. It's looking like it's having a chance to roll back over here, and I feel like I'd be reckless if I didn't take some profit. If it broke through this 19.25, I could still grab like 20 to 25 cents for maybe, then hold half the position left. We'll see. That makes it seems like it makes sense to me. I should do it, so I'm going to do it, but it's only for a small portion of the position. I still want it to go down to 18. It's 11 o'clock. Europe is a thing, and Miss V is right there at the big screen to give you an update.
Hey guys, European shares are in positive territory despite the fears of new COVID strain. Russia is up 1.57%. Spain is up 1.78%. France is up 1.25%, and Britain is up 0.52%. British supermarket stocks are under pressure as a group due to travel bans, with the Sainsbury trading in London down more than 1%. Back to the traders.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the lineups, my wife's already telling me the lineups around here are pretty crazy. But of course, it's also the holiday season. So you do have some panic, plus obviously people looking, we have a nice roast coming. So she's out there picking up some stuff right now. We actually already have the roast. Pretty nice one too. Okay, 27, we just dumped some Palantir there. Now we're holding our last 10%. You can add this all up. Our last 10% from this level still on board. And then Neo, we did dump, again, most of them right here. Not holding this. Neo has not been a good long for me today. So when we hit this home run right there, we definitely make sure to get most of it out. And now we have about a quarter left on this one. So I think 48.50 is a decent spot, but watch the market, man. We're coming right back down. Again, Neo breaks to the high side there. I said, remember when I said 12,700? That's right where we went to and bounced. So bounced off and came in right back to the bottom. This looks like a good bottom break right here. Watch out, anyone holding NASDAQ related shares. The NASDAQ looks like it'll break this bottom here.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out Switching Life. I just put one of our members here, and I just put it into the chat as well. It's not like the only reason I wasn't looking at FireEye today, and I did see a couple of notes in there, people talking about it. I had a bad read on FireEye, and I lost taking it as one of my negative stocks yesterday, despite a solid day to start the week. So I'm going to miss out on the double bottom because it wasn't on my radar. This is obviously a fantastic setup and a good pullback, and if you have all of those things, I'm not shorting the stock today. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not looking at it right now. So if it maybe gives you any kind of a bounce and maybe an afternoon push, maybe there's a long trade there. I'm just, FireEye, I'm not going to take a shot at. GameStop, no problem. Lemonade, no problem. Peloton, we've had some shorts in. But FireEye was unsuccessful doing it yesterday, and I just don't have much confidence in it today. I do want to jump back over to Fubo. I did have a short here that maybe I could have found a way to win on. I just don't think that I could have done it within the way that I was trying to make that trade. It is now falling back in, back towards this sort of 56 area. The test at 60 kind of happened, but not quite. Got to 59.67. I guess that should have been close enough. It wasn't for me. GameStop is at 19 again. It's got to break for me to get more shares out and hopefully get the winner that we want. But this Fubo, I did want it initially on a bottom break at a pre-market level at 55.5. You couldn't get it at pre-market. It might do it right here, right now. So that same trade that I missed out on at 9:30, which you got to be in and out of quick for $3, could come here. It's similar to that Lemonade setup where it might be a slow grind towards the bottom. But Fubo, tread lightly because when that thing starts going to the upside, you don't want to get run over. If you take that 55 half break, I'd have a tight stop of maybe $1 at most, maybe even a little bit less than that if I take it on Fubo. GameStop, 98 it's at, but not exactly screaming to the downside after 19 just broke.
Yeah, exactly. Fubo, I can't believe we haven't looked at that too much from my side anyways today. Laser, like we're in and we're out. Like, give me a break. I need to hold these things a little bit longer. We talked about VLDR as well there, and we got a nice little super chat. Thank you so much for that. 29 and change. Yeah, wow. Velodyne here on some of the Apple news. Okay, Apple, let's go back to Apple, man. This was, man, honestly, we fired off hot dogs. It's funny to say that, but we fired off some hot dogs earlier with Apple today. Big time trading. One of my best stocks today is Apple. Well, Microsoft is my number one. Apple's my number two. Neo was up there, but then got not destroyed, but did get hit there on that move. Watch out for Apple, but the NASDAQ right now bouncing, guys, kind of off those bottoms. Again, we did break 12,670 there. Go down about 10 or 15 handles, looking to make it back, but the NASDAQ is sick today. What's up, Brent?
Another one from this side of the border, guys. Magna International just popping up on one of my screeners. 52-week highs just tagged up there, above 3% for MGA. That Apple release that came out yesterday afternoon mentioned by name Magna International as one of the companies they could team up with for parts for the Apple car, guys.
Yeah, there's a big move there. Look, there's so many of those to watch out for. Just grabbing my attention here was Lemonade. I got greedy. It's bouncing back to the upside. I could have had out at about 111 for a $2.50 win. I don't do that. Of course, I'm looking for $3. I said in front of 110. look, it's holding for now, so there's a decent shot it could roll back over. If it does, I'd probably target a higher low. So pocketing that 2 to 250 instead is probably going to be prudent. So I'll go ahead and cancel that order, throw a new one in there when it gets there. I still have not gotten any more shares out of GameStop, but I am also watching Sundial here, where it came back up to VWAP, bounced and failed. I got some more shares in. Actually didn't get this last order because it didn't test VWAP the second time. I then scalped some out at 49. I still have bids all the way to 48. This might be one of those muted trades. It might not give you more than a couple of pennies here, so that like 2.5%, 3%, 4% is what you're going to get instead of that 10. It's not moving as much, so what I should have done and didn't do was just jump into more shares initially. It's too late to think about that now. I can't rewind the clock and double or triple up my position, from the pre-market or at 9:30. Too late to do it. So I'm not going to fight it or compound that error by just jumping in and sort of trading it aggressively at worse prices. Not going to do it. Sundial, probably sleepy. I'll be up on it, but it won't be a heck of a lot today, unfortunately. Like I said, GameStop trying to go downside. Get below this 88, guys. I need you. JG here. This was a good one for us here to the short side, but I did talk about the possibility of 5 holding. There was another level here very, very early on at 450, which is now double bottom. So this one could be a bit of a runner if it holds this 455, 460 level. If you get a 5 even break, maybe up to VWAP. We've seen these things make second, third time moves in the afternoon. I wouldn't write this one off. The short was great. I've only gone short today, but if 450 holds all lunchtime, I'm looking for a 5 even break in the afternoon, maybe 130, whenever it happens. As long as 450 is held, I would think about that long break. More of a squeeze play, nothing fundamental about it. Probably don't like it. The news here was just, and again, comical. Aurora Mobile, Chinese phone and accessories maker, getting into the EV business with a partner. We don't know who. No details other than that. That's why I was short in the first place.
Okay, Neo right here, guys. I mean, it does come screaming down. We tried it small and then got out there on that break, so we'll try it one more time. But yeah, Neo failing again. We gave back all of this profit, and look at it just going down. That's why we get out, man. You got to realize when these stocks are sick. And right now, Neo, yeah, to the downside for sure. Still making moves to the downside. So I got to make sure I have Microsoft stop orders in as well as Palantir, so we don't really have any of those trades anymore. The only thing that we have left on board here is BFT, and it's not doing anything. It's trying to build off these bottoms, but whatever. I mean, we've celebrated this one today. I didn't get any out because we're on the show, and I don't think I want to. My target for this is like 20 as we go at least. We'll see. I don't think it's going to like moon like QuantumScape or anything, but that's QS. Watch this QS chart. Like, I just wish I was able to get some in on this one. Solid state batteries there, I believe, for electric vehicles. And this stock, this Volkswagen is a big investor in QS. So you could see up to the top 124 and change. Just keeps on motoring, man. Check out the daily chart on QS. I mean, this is just nuts. $20 just back November 30th. 120 right now. It's a 6-bagger right there in just a couple of weeks. So QS mooning right now. What up, B?
Not seeing anything at first glance here, but COTY just popping up on the scanner. Big volume coming into COTY. New highs here through day highs anyway, 707. Got to get all the way up through $8 to be recent highs, but nice little pop here for COTY.
All you baseball fans out there, if you're from New York, you might remember this one. Who's your daddy? And I love Pedro Martinez, but that was one of the all-time great heckles. Who's your daddy, GameStop? Hopefully today it's going to be me. I want it back to VWAP. We're starting to get that rollover, so I can now say I will be up on the stock today, unless I completely bungle any kind of retracement. That stop at 25 that I was going to put some shares at, I will now put the whole bag. Just so I could lock in the profits. I got 44 as an average price. There are 3 entries bunched up into here. But either way, it'll be at least a 20-cent win on the last third of the position, or we're going to test down towards 18. And look, 100%. If you're just thinking, yeah, long break at 17, it makes an opening range break, you're going to make a ton of money if you go long in GameStop. I was never even thinking about it. It doesn't pop up my radar until it's gone parabolic and I'm looking for the top. Again, you do what you do best. There's certainly longs to be had. AI made sense to me, managed to grab that. There were a couple on Peloton that made sense to me, managed to grab those as well. GameStop, not necessarily, so I went for the short trade. Thankfully, it's going to work out for us here. Lemonade, we'll see what happens. But like I said, I possibly got greedy here. Because it's continuing to bounce back to the upside, I'm not going to let this turn into a losing trade just because I didn't get the out where I should have at the bottom. It's either going to give me something in the 111 to 115 or a 111 half range, and I can take $2 to $2.50 out of it, or I'll just go to break even here. I don't want this to turn into a losing trade. 113.49 is my entry. I'll give it that plus slippage. Not even giving it back to VWAP at this point.
Okay, we just got back in to NIO, so let's wait to see. This is just like a mess here. Makes that bottom at 47.50. We're not going to give this one too much room, but we are trying to get this one back upside now, and we'll see if it kicks 90, 92, 93. Nice little move now on NEO, and we'll just see if we can't get some out before it eventually probably drops again and falls on its face. So we are watching out for that to happen. Not that I'm jinxing my own trade here, but it does look like that is what I'm doing. NEO right now hopefully can go. We do have a decent position on that break, so let's just see if it holds some high side now and we're able to get out. But I don't know. We're long at 83 now, just rinsing and repeating and getting some out because I am nervous on that trade. You could see 91s, 92s. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. Where's some upside targets? Don't really have some. I don't plan on holding this that long. We did take a big position there, a little bit of a revenge trade, but at the same time, it's making sense to do that for me. So let's just keep getting some out here, 80s, 90s like we're doing. You're seeing some tick out there. It is 90 again. Good out, but it's only 10 cents right here. So let's just keep this going up. Next targets, maybe 48.15 or so if we can get that, but it's pretty weak. And look at the market right now. There it comes right back down. The NASDAQ, it tried to go there and failed, but NEO does not want to go up. So we'll just keep on trying to get some out on the high side if we can. Going to drop it like on a break of like quarters here. So get ready for that one. Palantir's come all the way back as well. Not much happening. 27 and change. Look, we talked about that. We have some videos out about holiday trade. And I mean, you got to trade the right names and they got to move. And right now, not much moving around. And the market is basically sleeping right here. So just be very, very careful. You're not going to hit home runs right now, guys.
Yeah, have a look at that 47.65. I mean, what a Friday high on NIO there. It bounced like 10 pennies below that and came to the upside. So I don't know. It just feels like it could be a home run if that's going to be the level that to work off of. I did move, like I said, I moved my stop on GameStop here. There you go. Why not? So it can't be a loser. It's going to be 19.20. I might have mistakenly said 19.25 just to clarify that. You can clearly see the consolidation. So there was even a seller there. There was an order at 19.20 last I saw for about 12,000 shares. So assuming that's there, there's plenty of liquidity. That's another reason to maybe have that as the area stop. I mentioned Peloton taking a shot at this one to the short side if it got and tested back up to the high. Never happened. It's now back below VWAP. So I'll throw that trade out the window. I'm not going to do anything with Peloton in this range. I think if it tests the high, fair enough. Maybe a rollover trade and then a breakout in the afternoon. I prefer the rollover first. But otherwise, unless it gets to 155 or something, I'll be hands off on Peloton. It's just going to be lemonade in the money, $1.50. I should have taken 2.5 when I had the chance. GameStop, which is continuing to work. And of course, Sundial, which you can't seem to get me out of. Doing not a heck of a lot, but a winner is a winner. If it gives me a shot to get more in front of 51, I have to wait for the good prices because it's at this point, you're really just taking 2 or 3 cents at best on this trade, it looks like. So if you chase it by like 0.3 of a cent or even half a cent, you're throwing away the bulk of your profit and it makes no sense. So you got to be very, very patient with this name and size up if you can. Usually it's a lot better than this when it does 100 million shares, but today is a bit of a disappointment for me in Sundial.
Yeah, a bit of disappointment for me in NEO as well. As we go back long, it just like breaks our back. Not doesn't break our back. We scalp some out. So now we'll try along again on NEO here just to see if it wants to go. We did know that it was getting as high as the 80s or 90s last time there and didn't go. So we'll see again if it can get back into the 90s. Just draw. I mean, these are flat trades. I just don't want to have nothing on board in case it does come back. Probably give this one to that very bottom. A break now of 65 will do it for NEO, and then we'll get out of the rest of that one. So giving this a little bit of room now. Hopefully we can get going to the high side. Is that 3,000 or what is that hit there? We just hit the firewall.
No, we already hit 3,000.
3.1, okay. Yeah. So she hit it at 3.1. So that's a good one. We don't, we get a little bit of a drop off at the end of the day, but still 5,800 people watching. So whoa, whoops, I just closed it. But 5,800, hit the like if you haven't yet. It's a very, very simple button. I got to get my orders out here for NEO as it looks like it wants to break lower again. What's up, B?
Looks like some profit taking, possibly VLDR, just double checking on Velodyne here. But we broke, I should say, back below that 29.25. That was holding as support there, back through 28.5, and hurry there on a bit of a volume spike for VLDR.
Now, to prove the baseball fan that I am, we break that 31 and 3,200. And I mentioned if you're a Yankees fan, you know about that Pedro line. You probably know that we passed in likes Mr. Dave Winfield. He had 3,110 hits. Also a Blue Jays legend, so I'm going to throw that one out there just to prove how big of a baseball nerd I am. VLDR is the bane of my existence. And the reason here is, I've done this trade before, and I always feel like if you get that failed break, you get the pullback, and it doesn't give you that opportunity for the breakout, you get out. First of all, I should have given it to this level here, 27.30, splitting hairs. It's an extra 10 pennies, so it doesn't really matter. But when it breaks down, and here's this consolidation of pre-market, at 7 o'clock, we came in on the show, and the first time we mentioned VLDR, I even said to Brendan when I came in, all I had to do was punch long at 7. There was liquidity at that price. I was here to see it, yet when there was a test of this same area below 27 and in around 26.75, I wasn't looking for the bounce off that price. What is the point of having that information if you're not going to take it to your advantage? It's huge pie in my face. It gives you consolidation and higher lows off that level before giving you a monster breakout trade. You've got to take, even if you don't trade it at 7 a.m., if you have a chance to see that or look at that volatility, that volume on the ramp up, and you're waiting patiently for that pullback trade, there it is. It broke the backs of the breakout longs. It broke the backs of the dip buys off this level at 27 even, and then came all the way to the 7 o'clock price before running. So sometimes you have to have multiple cuts at it, like GameStop. To the long side, I don't know why. I'm always willing to do it short, but not willing to do it long. I should have here, unfortunately. Brendan, what's up? Oh, sorry.
Hey guys, just quick announcement. We've got a new 4,000 likes animation, and I really want you to see that. So please, if you haven't liked this video yet, hit thumbs up right now. We're super close. We need just 800 more likes. Back to the traders.
Yeah, do it. I haven't even seen that animation yet, so that'd be pretty sweet. If we could get that, we're long NEO 47.72 right now. So I really need this thing to go. Obviously, we need this thing to go to the high side, so we'll see if it wants to now. I'm hoping it does, so we'll wait to see if that goes, but that's NEO right now. Long 25 cents in the money, looking to break higher, like looking to break higher there. We've been defending these bottoms, but keep getting stopped out. So right now, we'll see if we can be a little bit more aggressive on this and wait for some more 48s to come before we start dumping this stock. I don't want to dump it. I really think that we could retrace back higher, as we've seen NEO do, but been wrong today on this stock, so maybe worth scalping a little bit more out here as we go on NIO. Nicely in the money here, 17 cents. We'll take some out at 90 if we can get it. And remember, we're scalping, so we had, like right there, like I have the ability there. We just got rebates. Like that trade actually doesn't cost me anything. I make money getting out on those rebates. So that's a good one. Back there again, another 98. So there, like, look at this thing. We just got out 98. It tanks down to 88 there. And look at the market. Now it's starting to go. So, all right. Now I think we can finally afford to hold a little bit more NEO here as we only have 10 minutes left to go. The other stock is PLTR. We're very light. I have very, very small shares here on this one, but you can see it did break that 27.50 level. And then look at that, like broke it, like bang, wow. What a move down on Palantir. Didn't even see that one. Let's see if it gets back now, 27.35, guys.
And I see all those executions on NEO there. I know you're active there. For sure you've got more than 135 executions that I have, but sticking with the baseball theme, my question for you, Sean, is are you over under 257? Because that is the all-time record for a single season in hits. So if you hit that buy and sell more times than Mr. Ichiro.
What's up with the baseball today? You're like,
I have no idea.
Very, very excited.
I don't know where it came from today, but I'm just all about, I don't know, it's on my brain. The winter meetings are garbage. The Jays have done absolutely nothing, which they should. And Trevor Bauer, some Toronto fans do love you. Please come to Toronto. You're an absolute beast on the mound. I'd love to see you there. Anyways, 257 is the all-time season hits record. Have you done it, Sean? Are you over 250?
Oh, yeah, way over that. Yeah, 294 right now.
What?
So
that's a show record.
Yeah. That's Show record? No.
You've done over 300.
Oh,
before?
yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I'll do over 300 before this show's over. Okay, so yeah, we'll find out though. Good question. We could definitely find that out. Okay, guys, Tesla. I mean, again, I can't tell you this enough, and I'm looking at you, Randy, but only because I know he has real money invested in this. So I'm not going to throw shade at him, but we did talk about getting out on that bump the other day of the futures going upside there, getting into the S&P 500. So I did get out of some Tesla there. Just again, 15% of my position out at 669. We did talk about this. I cannot believe I'm not short of the 645 break like we said we would be. Instead, I'm just losing everything on NEO, Chinese name there. Wow, Peloton, though, making money in the PA. What's up, B?
I'm going to show you this first, and then we'll show you the stock I'm talking about. It's IPV, which is a SPAC, but they searched far and wide for another LiDAR company to buy. AEVA going public through a merger with Interprivate Acquisition. So this one just going absolutely crazy right now the last couple of minutes, from 1675 up to 1930% for IPV on that, guys.
That's what he does. Even with like 10 minutes, under 10 minutes to go, here is hot fire that's been thrown out here. Just want to make sure on the daily time frame that we weren't looking at any levels that are of use, and there are absolutely none unless it goes back to 16. But $20 is coming here. I'm not going to stand in front of this freight train. Maybe a little bit later on in the afternoon, it'll be worth it. But certainly add IPV to your list. You've seen what has happened with these other names. They are legendary runs to the upside. Speaking of legendary runs, nothing more legendary than Don Beebe chasing down Leon Lett. Someone in the chat was like, we need more Bills Mafia references, and it was a member, so I'll give you that one. John Terry, Sean and I, Bills fans. Well, Sean's more of a Packers fan. We used to have season tickets for the Bills,
fan,
and we still love the Buffalo Bills, but Tasker, an absolute legend. Get him in the Hall of Fame, please. Is he in the
Hall of Fame?
He's the best.
I mean, I know he was a great special teams player.
The best ever. The best ever.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, Don Beebe, yeah, good name there. His son also playing.
Yes, he is.
Okay, here we go. Just watching out this market here. BFT going. We did step in again here to NEO. Just watching it break through 50 again. I don't know, man. I mean, we're keep trying to play for higher highs, but it just keeps making lower lows. So obviously here, NEO just, whoa, where'd it go? Here it is. We are long at 63. There, wow, look at that. Like there, like instantly, bang, drop down there on NIO to the downside. So yes, big time mover downside there. NEO just keeps on cracking lower, and yeah, we keep trying to go long. So we've lost a decent part of our day here on NIO today. I just keep bottom picking it, and that's what's going to happen. We are going to lose on some of these positions some days. The market just keeps on cracking, and NEO keeps going. I wonder if this is a good time now to maybe think about getting. Oh no, we still need to go back here. I was going to say maybe get some longs on NEO, but it's not even that big of a move. Only 3%. It just seems big because it keeps cracking every level to the downside. That's NEO. Just doesn't want to stop going to the downside, guys. Just resisted that $50 like a champ today.
Yeah, and I just noticing BlackBerry here. I don't really see any. I didn't see any news on it, and if I missed it, apologies. But a bit of a break at 7:30 here, and then continuing to run to the upside. I was watching this level previously, anyways. I mean, certainly looking at it yesterday, if it was going to test, it never really did on the bounce. But now it's broken through. I mean, it's still a monster gap to be filled after it got flushed off of earnings. So I'd probably stay away till it gets to that 790 mark. But it was on the radar for a long trade, so I missed my opportunity to say something nice about BlackBerry. But it's going to happen to you sometimes. Certainly, I still have only just the 3 positions on. I want to quickly update. Only 5 minutes left. GameStop just bounced one more time, shy of VWAP. Now, I still have the stop for the rest of these at 1925. If in the event that this does get me out, I'll still be up on the stock, just not as good as I think it could have been. It might make another run at 1975, the current top. If it goes to 20 and I get another shot to go short, maybe 75 or 80, something like that, off of 20, I'm probably going to go ahead and do that. But that's not written in stone. I got to see what happens when it breaks to the top. It didn't even test as low as I thought it would, which is a bit of a sign of strength. Still has time to flush, but there is at least a little bit of caution with this one. No caution whatsoever at this point with Sundial, which is now testing that 48 again. Looks like we might actually get the pop down to 45 in that 10% move, just taking a little longer than we expected.
So so unfortunately it had to be for Prime Minister because here in the States, well, we're not in the States, we're in Canada, but you need to be a U.S. citizen to be president. But I could be president of Trader TV, but then I'd have to take over Brendan's title. So thank you so much. Oh, it was probably because I helped free your grandma. So there you go. You're welcome there. Presidents need to do good deeds, and there it is. So I hope the grandma is okay and she is freed now. But thank you so much for that. And yeah, Michelle. Thank you. Exactly. Hit the like button, guys. EV vehicles go down. And I go down with them in a flaming pile of, today for NIO. Not a very good day for me in the market here for NIO. When realistically, man, it should have just been, I am going to, by the way, defend 47 here on NIO like a maniac, like I've been doing all day here. I'll be tweeting out my hatred for that stock probably later, but we'll see if we can make that back. Okay, so I'm just looking at this level right here, 632. We did talk about Tesla and that drop off from expansion there into the S&P 500, and the levels there was this level that we looked at, and it's not that level exactly, it's more like some of these wicks, 632 there, 627 there as well. These all happened. We were watching Tesla with amazement here as it dropped from 676 in a couple minutes down to 630, and then you guys saw it. This was a good trade for us on the floor as we hit Tesla long off that rebalance, and now again, guys, I know this looks crazy because of all these wicks, and we can't get rid of them. We chart everything here, which is the problem. But look at this consolidation, 625 break upside on Tesla, maybe a good one, and I think that's something worth taking a shot here on Tesla. 625 break upside. Watch out for a 621 bottom, but I like this one for a long here if it does break. So 625, your boy's going to take it.
Yeah, and we'll end it with lining them up and knocking them out, and we'll save this for sundial. Why not? Just in the nick of time before we end the show, it does roll over, breaks that low. We did have the bottom wick once. I got some more out in front of 48. It has now broken that, so 47 all the way down to 45. We'll be getting out of this one in the afternoon. If it dips back up, I'm not going to reload. It's gone too far to maybe take that short if it gets back up to VWAP, but it's been a good one. So thank you very much, and thank you for the super chat there, Karthik Auerband, musician making some coin in trading. So love to see that. Congratulations to you. Keep up the music, and maybe you can, I don't know, tweet at us something that you play. We actually used to do guest traders, and we had one of our guest traders live take us out to Sir Duke, which is one of my all-time favorites by Stevie Wonder. So multi-talented group we have in this community. That's one of the things I definitely love about it. It's been a fun show, but there is still the rest of the week to go. Some afternoon plays. Watch out for C3AI if it catches any kind of a bounce and secondary push. If I had to pick one of these three, I'm talking about DoorDash and I'm talking about Airbnb, to make a run, usually it's going to be C3AI. It has bounced off that low 167. Would have to hold that and then maybe give you either a 175 break if you really, really like it, like a 171 in the afternoon. So far it's selling off, but it's held a low for now. As long as it does that, there's always a chance you might get another run in the afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for joining. And I closed, unfortunately, the YouTube because I was screwing up there. Let's just find out how many likes we do have on board right now. I've already liked it. Not bad, Valeria. You did pretty good there. Whoops. I'm not the one doing good today. 47, 3,400. So a good little look there if you are watching us right now. We have 5,500 watching. If you haven't made this little guy blue yet, please do so. I don't know if you can do it on your mobile, but definitely see if you can't get that up. We'd love to get to 4,000. What is our record again?
More than 4,000.
More than more. There it is. Nice little bump up there. Thanks, guys, for that. We will get over to 4,000 at some point. But yeah, big day. I don't know what the earnings situation's like, but tomorrow, obviously, we'll have Peloton on the mind as that's still breaking. I'm going to have Tesla on the mind as well. I'm looking for a 626 or so break. A little more confirmation than 625. Let's get up to 626. So you'll see me into that position. I do want to defend NIO as well down here at 47, but I got to get it a little bit lower. And again, we did have some consolidation here, but be prepared, man. We can go to 46.80 for sure if that's coming up. So good little trade there for NIO if you can get it long, but we've made a lot of trades. 312 right now today trades, and we're about to make some more, especially if we do get that long NIO and into a Tesla trade as well. But thank you so much, guys. 3,600 likes. We like it. We like you. Only 2 positions long right now.
Hey guys, thank you very much for joining us today and for all the support. We love you, and please don't leave without hitting thumbs up, as we're literally so close to reach 4,000 off likes. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Date Not Bread Day.
Date Nut Bread Day. Okay, I mean, it looks okay. Whatever, that's the first I've heard of that. Either way, we like pastries around the holidays, and certainly you can enjoy whichever ones are your personal favorite. So to everybody, happy Date Nut Bread Day. But certainly, obviously, it's a fun show, and thank you so much for all of the likes and all of the support. We truly appreciate it. As Sean might have hinted, we're going to be possibly doing a little something on Peloton a little bit later on for you guys, because it's been such a good mover and a heavy trade today. But I got to go down the line. For the entire team here, for Ms. V, for my man Sean Katina, for Brennan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Arriba, arriba.
It's Mike.
Yay, yay, yay.